My Babe Ruth autographed baseball? Why did you throw that out?
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, October 12th, 2017. This is your award-winning Gimmo Nation Media Assassination episode 972.
This is No Agenda.
From douchebags to false flags, we're always guarding your reality and broadcasting live from downtown Austin, Tejas, capital of the Drone Star State, in the Cludio. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where there's ash falling, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Ash?
Yeah, ash. There's ash falling.
Yeah, it must be bad, Broseph.
Well, actually, the amount of ash falling is not
well, not
enough
the
to
ash.
keep
No,
me.
not just the ash, but there's a lot of bad stuff happening there in Northern California.
Yeah, I find it disturbing.
What that is happening, or something else disturbing?
Well, I find it disturbing they can't do anything about it.
Well, of course, something could be done. We are the only two who can actually do anything about this.
Well, we could try the rain stick.
Hello,
but
yeah,
it still doesn't change. It still doesn't change my concern.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the concern first and then do the rain stick?
Well, let's do the rain stick first.
Okay. What will this take? This is big. I think it's a 3 shaker.
2.
Okay, because you
and
know,
take a chance on 3.
if we do 3, in 1 week, Austin's going to be flooding as usual. That's what happens. But it could help.
Well, you do 3. I'll do 2.
No, I'll do 2 because I don't want the rain here. It always comes here.
Okay, I'll do 3.
All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Fuck it, I'll do 3. Uh-oh. Poor people in California. There you go. These are official rain sticks made by Sherry Osborne. And Sherry Osborne. Is that it? Sherry. Your name is Osborne
Sherry.
for some reason. Ben, we, of course, are licensed professionals, so don't try that at home. Ben, they work.
Well, yeah.
They work. We have seen it happen.
So what concerns me, and I have a couple of reports. Maybe we should play a couple clips.
All righty.
I have, let's see, what clips do I have on this? We've got probably 2.
Yeah.
Let's go start the fires in NorCal ABC.
We begin with the fire disaster unfolding in California tonight. At least 22 wildfires are still burning. They are growing and threatening more homes. A short time ago, the entire city of Calistoga ordered to evacuate. 5,300 people are now on the move tonight. And look at these new images this evening of the desperate escape from the flames in Santa Rosa. Homes, cars, everything burning along the way out. The destruction so complete, whole neighborhoods turned to ashes. More than 3,500 homes and businesses now gone. Tonight, the death toll is climbing and hundreds of people are still missing. ABC's Matt Gutman leads us off from Santa Rosa tonight.
Tonight, firefighters on the front lines are pushed to the limit, nearly helpless against their enemy, the wind.
These fires are just literally burning faster than firefighters can run.
Racing to save others while their own homes burn.
Myself, several of my friends, I understand that we have at least 7 of us from Santa Rosa Fire Department, several from Santa Rosa Police Department, Sonoma County Sheriff's Department. They did lose our homes.
Since exploding Sunday night, the fires still out of control, torching 170,000 acres. This new video from the Sonoma Sheriff's Office showing officers' terrifying escape from the flames. And overnight, new evacuation orders in Sonoma and Napa counties, and anxious moments for this mother.
My son, I'm not sure if my son is still there.
Soon learning he'd gotten out too. 80 people with respiratory issues rushed from this veteran's home. By dawn, officials going door to door, telling 2,000 residents of Calistoga in the heart of wine country to leave immediately.
They just came and knocked on the door and let us know it's time to go.
More than 3,500 structures damaged or destroyed.
What you see here is being called an urban assault. That fire melting these mobile homes down to the steel chassis. Now, what so shocked firefighters is that firestorm leapt over this major highway, engulfing other parts of Santa Rosa, and it's those kinds of conditions that are expected again tonight.
It's the winds.
That's what they're blaming it on. Play part 2.
This fire is so big and the resources are spread so thin that we're just dealing with what we got.
8,000 firefighters, 550 engines, and 124 aircraft, all racing to put out these fires before the winds pick up.
David, they're dropping as much water as they can on this fire that's moving quickly down the mountainside because they're concerned about winds that are expected to pick up throughout the night. David?
All right, Lindsay Janice with us as well. Lindsay, thank you. And, of course, we're thinking about the firefighters on those front lines losing their own home and property, so many of them. Let's get right to Rob, because they were telling us yesterday if these winds pick up, it's going to be a problem, and that's what they did today.
Yeah, they're already doing that, and they'll increase tonight, and they're blowing some of the smoke.
Hold on. Where's the global warming blame?
That's kind of interesting because you don't hear it in any of these reports. I think they're going to do these things. Here's what I think is going on. I think the editors were wise enough to say, just don't start. We got this fire situation. Let's just
bad enough. It's real.
It's bad enough. After we do when we do the post-mortem on the whole thing, then we can bring the experts in, and then we can blame global warming. So that'll come later.
Right. What I find distressing for us non-Californians, and I include myself, when you hear Sonoma county's on fire, the first thing everybody thinks is, oh, man, there was the price of wine.
Well, it's what's going to happen. There was a guy on that was with some expertise.
That's really what goes through your head when you hear Sonoma. I mean, just as a non-Californian.
Well, I would hope you just think the same thing with Napa, which has better wine.
Yes, I was just very distraught over Napa.
Well, the vineyards aren't on fire. The vineyards are well maintained, and you can see these areas of flames everywhere except the vineyards. But the problem is they're still picking, or they're in the process of picking, or they're finishing. Some of the wineries have already finished, but it's right in the middle of harvest. And so they're worried about what they call smoke taint.
You said taint.
Now, if they can somehow sell it as some sort of a special flavor once in a lifetime.
Now with smoky flavor.
Now smoke taint.
Smoke taint. Show title.
So they might get away with it, but I think the harvest is gonna be probably about 50% of it be ruined. I'm guessing. But here's what bothers me about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that these are neighborhoods. This is like a classic suburban development. Santa Rosa is where this has really been emphasized, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can understand you live on Atlas Peak, and you've got a home in the woods, and you're up there, and, it's a nice area, and the fire starts, the wind blows it out of control, and it runs up the hill and burns everything to the ground.
Right.
Now, that makes sense. That's kind of a thing we expect in California. If you're going to live on the side of a hill in a mountainous area with a lot of woods, you're going to get in trouble.
You get what you deserve.
Well, you get what you're insured for. And but we're talking about flat areas that you'd be thinking were more prone to flooding. The flat suburban areas that have just tract homes, one after the other, spread around. Very few trees. There's a couple of trees here and there, sure, because the tract has been there forever, probably since the 60s. Burnt to the ground. Every single house burnt to the ground.
Wow.
They can't save these houses, and now they've got Calistoga, a whole little town. In fact, apparently a couple of other towns are already gone. I think Windsor maybe might be gone.
Just gone.
Yeah, so they wiped out these towns. So what does the fire departments do? They can't strategize to save these properties?
I don't know, man. It's a job that seems very complicated to me.
They got 500 trucks, 8,000 people, a bunch of tanker aircraft, and it is complicated. But I think it's like, I think the urban firefighting people aren't trained for anything but maybe one house on fire somewhere in town. And when something like this comes along, they don't know what to do.
Well, they
don't do anything. All they do is go from door to door to door, telling people to get the hell out.
Right.
Very concerned about seeing a whole housing development.
Especially since it hasn't happened before. Since these tract homes were installed in the 60s, you said?
I'm thinking 60s, 70s, maybe.
Could these little hamlets, by any chance, have bad bonds?
Oh, everybody has bad bonds.
Oh, well, clears that right up.
I don't think it clears it. How does that clear anything?
Just saying. I'm just trying to come up with angles for you. I don't know. I don't know why this is happening.
I can't come up with one. I mean, I'm sitting here watching the news 24/7. This is boom, one thing blowing up after another. And there's a couple other things. Here's an interesting one.
But I will say this. We have firefighters in the No Agenda audience who will weigh in and give us some
Okay, here's got a rhetorical question for him. Why, when they say, oh, there's hurricane winds, it's 50, maybe 35, 40 miles an hour. Why do they leave the power grid on? Because it's knocking over. Trees get knocked over. They hit the power lines. The power lines start a fire. The other thing is you see these houses destroyed, housing tract, maybe for some unknown reason, there'll be one house standing. And on every one of they have the camera going on, and each one of them shows the gas line thing going full tilt. Gas pouring out of the thing, full tilt, big flame coming out, setting more stuff on fire. They won't turn off the gas. This is what really gets me to do. And they have some lame excuse for not turning off the gas. Oh, well, we don't want to turn off the gas to the whole development, which you could do in some centrally located areas. You just turn the gas off, turn the power, and turn the gas off. And no, we can't do that because. And what do you
when you say you see the gas going full blaze? Is it burning the gas?
Yeah, it's coming out the pipe.
Right,
out the pipe.
Out of the pipe. Yeah,
it's coming out the pipe. It's making it like this huge flame. It's like some of them are like really nasty looking flames, and every house has got one of these things going off like that. Man. Everything.
It's probably good to just burn it off too. They stop it.
Why?
I don't know. I'm just talking. But I have no standing.
It seems to me that these are fire hazards. The gas lines themselves should be turned off. And they should have turned off for the whole area. But they have this lame excuse. Well, if we turn it all off, this is what I've heard once. If we turned off the gas, then it would be a problem when we had to turn it back on, because then we'd have to go from house to house or something. There's no houses left, but they apparently have to go from house to house.
Wow.
And they're going to have to turn the gas off eventually. They can't just keep burning gases. Nobody's getting charged for it. The meters are destroyed.
Okay, so your assessment, is this the wind? What caused this to be so abnormal? Because we have fires in California, but this is clear an abnormal event.
I think it's civic incompetence.
Okay, wow.
On a grand scale.
Wow. That is harsh.
That's what I'm seeing.
I understand. Well,
and I don't get the gas lines being on. I don't hear a good excuse for that. I don't see why the power was still going. They're sparking more fires. And with this high wind, that's such a problem. It's blowing trees over.
That's so that the Tesla owners could get a last charge before they fled the scene.
That's the only possible
Actually,
reason.
I have where is it here? I have one clip. California woman. Very short clip.
The winds last night were unbelievable. I've been here 10 years. I've never experienced anything like that. And no wonder the fires are all over the place.
She wasn't even able to get her car because her garage door wouldn't open with the power out. Shelley hitched a ride with a friend to the shelter. Without a charger for her phone, Shelley is depending on officials at the shelter to tell her what's next.
Yeah, it didn't elaborate, but she probably had no cash. And no nothing, because once you put your life in the hands of electricity solely, that's what you get. Couldn't open the garage door.
That's pretty pathetic.
She probably has no idea. I'm sure you can open it manually. She probably just has no idea how it works. It just always kind of does it. Huh.
Well, the whole thing is a fiasco.
Sad situation, and I look forward to hearing from our firefighter producers. We have a lot of people
that have lost their homes. I mean, there's 3,500 or 2,500 homes at least. 1,000 buildings of other sorts, and whole neighborhoods gone.
Yeah.
And even when we had the Oakland fire, which was miserable and it had wind and it was hot, and it was a development that was on the side of a hill.
What year was this?
This was I don't remember. It was probably the late 90s or the mid 90s, maybe the mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this Oakland fire, it took out all kinds of houses, people I knew. And but it was narrow roads. The fire trucks couldn't get up there to do anything about it. And it was uphill. So once it started, it just burned right up to the top of the hill. It wasn't this, but bothers me is this is flat. Oh, my wife defends, well, it's so much wind, the wind. They're blaming everything on the wind. And okay, well, it was windy. We give you that. But
all right. Well, allow me to transition smoothly to a new topic. Okay?
Yeah.
George Clooney is a spy.
He's a spy.
Boom, boom, boom. Once again, we prove we are from the future. How long have we been saying this?
Oh, probably 10 years before we did the show.
Yeah, but then we got the jingle. I'm not sure when we first started. Well, when did I get the jingle? I'm sure you read this about George Clooney. Yeah, 2013 is the jingle was from 2013.
Okay.
You read this about these documents from the International Criminal Court that were either leaked or stolen?
I heard about them. I did not read that. No.
Oh, well, in these leaked emails, and the Sunday Times wrote about this, which is, are they trustworthy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Let's see. They write here, a series of leaked emails seen by the Sunday Times revealed how the Argentinian prosecutor urged the Hollywood actor to focus a number of commercial satellites on Libya, remember his Sentinel project, and put pressure on Gaddafi generals by documenting evidence of humanitarian crimes. And who was that creep who was always with him? That guy, his handler?
Yeah, the handler. I can't think of his name.
Clooney is the co-founder of the Satellite Sentinel project, which uses commercial satellites to document war atrocities committed by the government in South Sudan. Since the project launched in 2011, satellites have detected mass grave sites in the southern part of Sudan, et cetera, et cetera. Now, it continues. The actor is not the only celebrity Moreno Ocampo tried to recruit in his attempt to prosecute some of the world's most notorious warlords and dictators during his 9-year term at the helm of the ICC. He also enlisted the help of, come on,
Angelina Jolie.
Yes, Angelina Jolie, in a plot to snare Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony in a honey trap dinner, which I think is a better.
Kony, 2012.
It's a better story than Clooney. The prosecutor wrote in an email that Angelina Jolie had, quote, the idea to invite Kony to dinner and then arrest him. He planned to send Jolie and her husband Brad Pitt to the warlord's stronghold with U.S. Special Forces, according to these leaked documents.
So this guy, Kony, I guess is so dumb that he'd think that Angelina Jolie actually wanted to have dinner with him.
He's like, finally, I'm getting lucky. It's about time.
Really?
Yeah. Then, the Clooney thing, we always knew that. I mean, he was it's not like a big secret what he was doing. I mean, we all knew about the Satellite Sentinel project. And, it's just that this guy asked him to shame someone else except Sudan, which would be outside the charter, I think, of his nonprofit, but still. But anyway, I like the Angelina Jolie story more myself.
It is cute.
Because we had that whole Kony 2012 thing. And
it had Harvey Weinstein organize it.
Yeah, hey-o. Okay, Harvey Weinstein. But let me tell you something right off the bat, and I want to know your experience. I've been in show business, real proper show business, since I was 19.
Yeah.
And the casting couch in the Netherlands, where I started in real show business, not just pirate radio or podcasting. That's not real. That's not real show business.
No, but it's still show business.
Yes, that's okay, Elephant
Same as
Man.
working for the circus, cleaning up dung.
Yeah. Yes, I got you. Then they call the casting couch at the time in the Netherlands was called het Gooise matras. Het Gooi being the area where all the Hilversum, all the television and all the production companies and the broadcast studios, that region is known as the Gooi and the mattress. But in all my years, never have I been approached, propositioned, seen, heard, invited to. Now, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, so I'm completely belief that this happens, and it's much, much worse. Look at all the pedo bear stuff. But I have never, ever, same with cocaine, I've told you that before too, never been offered to me, never even seen it.
Yeah.
So, I just want to say that up front because I think it's.
Yeah, but you're not some hottie. I mean, you might be in certain circles, but not the circles that we're talking about here.
But I think that some gay guys probably would have want to come after me when I was 19.
Yeah, but how many gay guys did you ever work for?
Hello. Which ones were straight?
Yeah, well, there's that. Maybe it's. I don't know. I mean, I think that's good to know that you got through unscathed.
So it can happen. It's not like everything. I'm not defending anything, but I'm just saying that to me is. I think the cocaine thing was more surprising to me in hindsight. Just like what, it was the 80s and 90s. Never. So it doesn't matter.
Maybe people thought you were a cop.
Narc. That Curry is a narc, man. Narc. From Holland. Narc, obviously. Driving his Rolls Royce. Narc.
I find the cocaine thing with you and that hair and all the rest of it and your image and the MTV and the whatever, that whole scene to be quite weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although, again, it's your circle of friends.
It's a milieu. I really didn't have any friends. I still don't have friends. You're not even my friend.
There you go. That's maybe you got no friends and you're hanging around the house and your skivvies. Nobody's going to offer you.
Parents, here's the solution. Make sure your kids has no friends. Then never get caught up in a Hollywood pedo bear scandal or any cocaine issues. That said, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of really weird people. And I am thoroughly enjoying the schadenfreude of Hollywood and the political left eating themselves over this. It is beautiful.
I specifically like things like when Ben Affleck is aghast and then he's called out by this actress who says, "I told you about this, you phony," on Twitter. And so these guys have to back off. And I did mention in the newsletter that I think there's a lot of, it's like, and I was noticing this. If you looked at the newsletter, I have a picture of.
I liked all your little vignettes and stuff in this newsletter. It seemed like a little more than usual.
Yeah.
I liked.
So I had the little.
It's like the National Enquirer, kind of. It's cool. It's like, wow, look at this.
I think it was the sleaziest newsletter yet.
Yeah, it was.
I got a picture of Harvey between Uma Abedin and Hillary, which I wanted to caption. Which was. But I didn't because I felt that I get it. I don't need to just show off.
I have a caption.
Well, let me give you my caption, and I'll take your caption. My caption was, "Cripes, what are these two lesbians going to do for
me?" Yeah, no. I was thinking Smokey Taint and the Bad Bonds. That would just be enough right there. You'd know what was going on.
Anyway, so there was you go down further on the newsletter, and there's these pictures of Gwyneth Paltrow and what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence. For some reason, I can never remember her name because it doesn't match her face.
Yeah.
But they were both, pretty much molested by Weinstein in one way or another. They don't tell us the whole story. And then there's two things that those pictures brought to mind. One, first of all, neither one of those women have the body language of a disgusted person.
No.
They're leaning in.
Yes.
So that's kind of interesting to me.
But isn't J-Law sitting on his lap practically in that picture?
Well, there's a bunch of pictures and shit. There's a lot of pictures after she won the Academy Award where she's all over him. And he's got that what I can only describe as a shit-eating grin. And the grin is a message to everybody else in Hollywood, which is, and not to be crude, but the message in his face as he looks out at the photographer is, "Hey, guess who's blowing me tonight?"
Yeah.
As he's sitting with these women.
As a little color here, I have a clip of Jennifer Lawrence and Harvey Weinstein at the GLAAD Awards together on stage.
Before we begin, I just want to congratulate Harvey and his wife Georgina on the birth of their new baby boy.
Thank you.
Harvey gave us just what we needed, another hymn. That might sound familiar. That's what I wrote on the card that I sent you when he was born. If he's anything like his dad, he's going to be relentless, passionate, and just about the best mentor an aspiring actor could ever hope for.
Thank you, Jen, but you can stop kissing up to me for forgetting to thank me at the Oscars. Let's just do what we're here to do.
And that was the time when she fell flat on her face, walking up the steps to get on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Awkward.
And David R. Russell, she forgot, too.
Yeah. I fell on my face. I forgot my own name. That's nothing to cheer for. Thank you, though. But we're here to tell you about GLAAD's Advocate for Change Award recipient, the 42nd President of the United States and founder of the Clinton Global Initiative, William Jefferson Clinton.
It's a great combo.
Jennifer was only 2 when Bill busted out that sax on Arsenio Hall. And I don't think she even knows who Arsenio Hall is.
We get it. I was young.
Yeah.
But first, I know Jennifer joins me. That's
my line, right? She says it better than I do.
Sometimes I call him Jennifer. It's a pet name.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then she's got the nerve to give the president of the United States, Trump, the finger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so
for being a sexual, for being a woman hater or whatever.
Right. But let's just say something up front. What is going on here is exactly how sexual predators work. Is you have power over this person in usually a professional way, or political way, or publicity way, or any of this, and you exert that power. And if you wanted to make it in Hollywood, it's obvious what you had to do.
Yeah.
And this cannot be...
Not in all circles, but in that...
But this cannot be a singular case.
No. It's got to be lots.
And
I would say this, which nobody wants to mention. I'll bet you that there were a few women who liked all that.
Possibly.
Kinky women, they're kind of perverted. It's possible. And they're not going to say anything one way or the other. But the ones who are the hypocrites, which I include this woman here, Jennifer
are
Lawrence.
The editors. I think the editors of these publications are the hypocrites. I can't blame any of these women, nor will I, for anything that happened. Even though they're coming out now, it's like, okay, thank God the pressure is off. They can finally say it. And I hope a lot more comes to light. A lot more. How about all the little boys and girls that are getting passed around in Hollywood?
The Cosby effect.
Yeah.
So I guess I can say that. Because you can see right after that New York Times article came out, there was still reluctance.
Yeah.
And then when the New Yorker
but
Times
in every case, I'm sorry, in every case, even I liked Ronan Farrow's piece. Yeah, in every case, the editors, got nixed. No, the editor said, no, you can't publish that. Don't have enough this, enough that. No, can't do that. Seems
now, Ronan did a really good job of documenting everything. And the scandal now, which especially at NBC, is that Ronan apparently gift wrapped the whole thing and gave it to NBC, who refused to run it.
Exactly. The same NBC who was happy to provide the Pussygate tape from Access Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. NBC's a huge, it's got issues.
And that's where this, the president said, we should, evaluate their license. And wow, that sent the press on a tizzy. What is he talking about? First Amendment, you can't do that. Blah, 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 blah.
Got nothing to do with the First Amendment.
Exactly. It has zero to do with the First Amendment. But there are definitely rules and regulations for contributing to society. Now, Trump could do an executive order, reinstate the fairness doctrine, I guess.
I don't think that would be. That's what
I don't think so either.
But you can still pull a license for being seditious.
A lot of
there's a million reasons you can pull the license. Yes. I think that NBC is seditious. I think their license should be pulled.
I agree.
At least the 10 of the stations that they own and operated.
Right, and that's the only license that'll go.
Can't do anything about.
Yeah, cable and stuff, you can't stop that. But a big chunk of their business is the local stations.
Right.
And, that would take all these talk shows off the air.
But I think an argument can be made. Now, I do have a clip that discusses this, I believe. I think I have a kind of a consolidated clip where they have pretty much everything. Nora, Aqua Update, Ruckus.
Herky Jerk?
I don't think it's a herky jerk clip, but play that one because it's worth discussing.
Nearly 30 women have now accused movie mogul Harvey Weinstein of sexual harassment or assault. His studio fired him. Politicians and Hollywood actors have denounced him. Now a New York DA is defending a decision not to prosecute him. Here's Jerika Duncan.
For the first time since the explosive allegations, TMZ obtained video of Harvey Weinstein outside a home in Los Angeles.
Hold on, Harvey, get in the car.
And under growing pressure, Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance Jr. explained today his decision to not prosecute Weinstein for alleged sexual assault.
If we had a case that we felt we could prosecute, and my experts felt we could prosecute against Harvey Weinstein, we would have.
The case stems from an incident back in 2015 when model Ambra Badalana Gutierrez went to New York City police after she claimed Weinstein groped her. Police wired her the next day to see if Weinstein would make a move. The New Yorker obtained the audio.
Yesterday you touched my breast.
Please, I'm sorry. Just come on. I'm used to that. Come on.
Are you used to that?
Yes, come in.
No, but I'm not used to that.
I won't do it again. Come on.
But less than 2 weeks after that encounter, Vance decided to close the case, citing lack of evidence to prove criminal intent. Attorney Caroline Polisi.
They are doing a total mea culpa here, saying, look, had we known that the NYPD was conducting this undercover operation, they should have contacted us and we would have counseled Ms. Gutierrez on exactly what to say in that sting operation in order to get the criminal intent.
Due to the 2-year statute of limitations on misdemeanor sexual assaults, Weinstein could now never be charged criminally for what he allegedly did to Gutierrez. But there is no statute of limitations in New York for alleged rapes that occurred after 2005. Weinstein has not been charged with rape. A number of women who claim Weinstein assaulted them were paid settlements ranging from $50,000 to $250,000. According to a source involved in the internal investigation, the Weinstein Company did not pay $1 to alleged victims of sex assault and rape allegations on behalf of Weinstein. We reached out to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office and the LAPD because alleged assaults happened in those jurisdictions. Officials say they have no record of any reports filed against Weinstein. Anthony?
Jerika, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody tried to follow that as they listened to it, but I call it herky jerk because they go from point to point.
Yeah, they really don't have
just randomly point to point. And making no sense and really not developing a thesis. Very poor story.
I really like that audio, though. That was pretty good of him trying to get the is it Italian actress?
Yeah, she was a model. She's the model. She wasn't the actress. The actress was worse. I have the whole thing, I think.
Yeah, I have it too. I think
we don't need to play it. It's not that.
It's in the it's in the show notes, but it really, you can really hear how it works. Yeah, you can hear how it works, the push pull and everything.
Well, here's the Trump versus the network's Nixonian. This is the clip we were looking for.
Oh, okay, interesting.
President Trump today denounced an NBC News report that he's planning a tenfold increase in the U.S. nuclear arsenal. He called it pure fiction, meant to demean him, and he threatened to challenge network licenses. There are nearly a dozen NBC TV stations licensed by the FCC. It's a page out of the Nixon playbook, which included license challenges and threats of antitrust suits against the networks.
Now, what was his beef exactly?
NBC came out with this report. I wish I had it. I don't. Sorry. That said Donald Trump plans to increase our nuclear arsenal by a factor of 10. And it doesn't have it to hold any water apparently. And I think Mattis backs up him. It was something he may have casually said during the campaign. And it's one of these items. Because I think they've run out of material because of the leakers leaving the White House.
Yeah, that was a good point you made in the newsletter. The leaking
Bannon
stopped when Bannon and all those other
Priebus.
guys, got kicked out.
So they got kicked out, and there hasn't been anything since July. So now they're milking the old stories, and they're getting a lot of, well, in July I did this, in July I did. There's nothing new in any of this, and this is a story that goes way back that they kind of.
I was going to say, I wanted to point out that we were looking for the cycle, and we kind of nailed it. We said they're going to circle around, do the same things again, and it'll probably be Pussygate where they start again, and it's exactly where it started.
Yeah.
And of course, the Weinstein thing came in as an interruption.
And Weinstein and
why?
The fires have not helped.
And why? Why did the New York Times all of a sudden decide to go ahead with this? Why?
Well, I'm guessing that Bob Weinstein is the guy who pushed the story out there to get it into the public domain.
He's also been very quiet. Yeah.
And he is, in the Hollywood circles, he's the guy who's got fed up with his brother, and he knew it was going to ruin the company eventually, and which it already has. And he leaked a memo that was an internal memo, and the New York Times got hold of it, and it backed up the writers.
Got it.
Two women that wrote this up.
No.
But in the meantime, you hear this sort of story.
Abel meet Cain. Wow.
Well, I think that Harvey may have been out of control at this point.
Yeah.
But
sure
Weinstein,
like
but I get the biggest kick out of this bull crap, which is this clip, which is Weinstein board knew nothing.
And Lindsay Davis with us here in New York. And Lindsay, we now know that Harvey Weinstein's own brother, his business partner, is speaking out against his brother's behavior. But there are a lot of people who are going to ask, how did the family, how did the board not know about any of this behavior?
Right, and his brother Bob saying that he's a very sick man, calling him a world-class liar. But the board maintains they had no idea, David.
Lindsay Davis on this story again tonight. Lindsay, thank you.
Yeah, and 3 of them resigned, and I'm sure when everything's reinstated and it's the Bob Weinstein company that they'll come back. Bob may not have known anything, but Trump certainly did.
I've known Harvey Weinstein for a long time. I'm not at all surprised to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all surprised. The only guy who says I'm not at all surprised, everyone else says, oh, I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked, I tell you. I had no idea. Here's Hillary Clinton. She came out, and then I am pleased to see that she is now being called out for being consistently late. Why did it take her 5 days? And I think this morning she has now announced that, yes, she's going to give the money, political contributions from Weinstein as a part of her regular 10% of her income to charity every year.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation charity.
Wow, that's weak. Very weak.
Can I stop you before you play that clip? What is this? I think this is it's like a subtle meme or something, but it's been going on for a while. What is the deal with this? Oh, you're late. You didn't say it right now. You waited 5 minutes.
Yeah, but no, but I know what this is. In today's social justice world, not speaking up is the same as endorsing the bad behavior. This is the whole problem. This is exactly why we're in this crap with all of our young people. It's now ingrained and embedded in their own milieu, as you would say. That, hey, this is why is Taylor Swift in trouble? Didn't speak out against Donald Trump. All these things. You don't speak out, then you're for it. We've seen this time and again. Bless you.
Now, okay, if you don't speak out, but that's different than you have to rush to speak out. And here's what I think why this is extremely dangerous, is that if you have to rush to speak out, which they now insist on, which I do believe as part of what you said.
Yeah.
But now you have to do it quick. That is setting social media up to just be a horrible thing so some falsehood will go out of control overnight or instantly.
Yes.
That could cause nothing but havoc.
Yes, that's correct. But this is exactly what happened with the president with the cake, the tiki torch guys. He didn't say anything for 2 days. Oh, Nazi Hitler. At least there's consistency. But they're not calling Hillary Nazi or Hitler, although I think that shoe might fit her better. And here is Hillary Clinton on Fareed Zakaria, the plagiarist show on CNN.
I was appalled. It was something that was just intolerable in every way. And, you know, like so many people who've come...
That's an interesting choice of words. Intolerable in every way. Is there, I don't know, you know what I mean?
You know, I've been getting some interest, some fascinating notes.
Nice catch. Good one. You did it.
Yeah. Some notes that indicate or this one guy in particular, one of our producers, has spotted some of these crazy. I'm disgusted by kind of this double speak where you're not really condemning Harvey, you're just condemning what he did.
Oh, it's performatives.
Yeah, it's a lot of performance going on, and what Clinton did there, I think, is something like that, but I don't know if it qualifies as a pure performative.
It was an odd choice of words.
I was appalled. It was something that was just intolerable in every way. And, you know, like so many people who've come forward and spoken out, this was a different side of a person who I and many others had known in the past.
Would you have called him a friend?
Yes, I probably would have.
Didn't they have, like, beach houses together or something?
Oh, they vacationed together. They did a lot of stuff. He was
watched movies together with the president.
He was with the well, you see tons of pictures of him with Bill.
Yep.
And so would so many others. You know, people in Democratic politics for a couple of decades appreciated his help and support. And I think these stories coming to light now, and people who never spoke out before having the courage to speak out, just clearly demonstrates that this behavior that he engaged in cannot be tolerated and cannot be overlooked. And I'm hoping that Do
you think it was tolerated because he was powerful?
I don't know.
A lot of people say people knew.
Well, I certainly didn't, and I don't know who did, but I can only speak for myself, and I think speak for many others who knew him primarily through politics. But the courage of these women coming forward now is really important, because it can't just end with one person's disgraceful behavior and the consequences that he is now facing. This has to be a wake-up call and shine a bright spotlight on anything like this behavior anywhere at any time. We've had a series of revelations about companies in Silicon Valley, you know, just sexual harassment and sexual assault being, you know, kind of accepted. That's the cutting edge of our economy. That's where a lot of young people have their first or most significant jobs. This can't be tolerated anywhere, whether it's entertainment or tech or anywhere.
Tech.
Did you notice that she slipped in sexual assault with harassment in Silicon Valley? Okay, well, so what happened in Silicon Valley where there was an assault?
Zero, as far as I'm aware.
I don't know of any.
Yeah?
It's just mediocre harassment.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Mark Cantor still gets quoted in every New York Times article.
Well, you get
as one of the guys.
Don't trust the New York Times.
He got boned.
He got boned, totally.
He really did. Hugely boned. I love the virtue signaling on Morning Joe.
Oh, those two.
And Mika did you want to talk disgusting?
She's disgusting.
Yeah. There's nothing like turning this around to promote your book. Which is exactly what she did.
Well, I never met him, but I had a book deal through his publisher, and I pulled it over the weekend because...
does that mean she gave back the advance? I'm sure she got an advance, don't you think?
She didn't give back anything.
Do you think that she got an advance?
Oh, yeah, she got a big advance.
You know this for fact, or your experience?
I know it from experience. Yeah. I don't know it as a fact, but there's no way that a woman with her... stature, with her reach.
With a deal, a 3-book deal wouldn't have an advance.
Yeah, you would get a big advance, and it's going to be big.
Maybe she'll
massive.
Yeah. Well, she'll have to give that back, I presume, if you pull the deal.
I wonder what's going on here. This is
it's promotion.
I doubt she's telling the truth.
It's promotion.
Well, I never met him, but I had a book deal through his publisher, and I pulled it over the weekend because I feel he even pushed the story out there when I signed the deal. Mika Brzezinski signs 3-book deal, women's empowerment. I feel he was using it.
But you've met him before.
Met him once or twice.
You mean socially?
Socially, but never. I've never ever worked with him. I've never been in an office with him. I did not know about this, but I do now. And there was no way it could move forward. And it felt like he was using the book series, Know Your Value, which is about women's empowerment, as a cover. And I wasn't going to be a part of that. And more people need to step up who have done business with him or taken money from him. I'm sorry. But you can't do it now.
That was a big 3-book deal.
You have some issues. So along with Nick Confessori.
You just said no.
Maybe there was...
well, I'm also...
What?
I'm thinking there may have been... Maybe she did pull to get her... kick the advance back. Oh, by the way, those deals, they tend to be third, and third, not unusual. And so you'd end up with getting not that. I mean, it's not if it was $1 million deal, which I doubt, but it could be. It would be a third, and then a third on delivery, and then a third on publication. So it's not like you have to give back a ton of money.
Well, she may not have.
That's
to.
a lot of money, but I don't think it was $1 million.
Yeah, but she's actually turned this into her benefit in another way at the end.
Yeah, she'll just resell it to somebody else.
Well, hold on.
And the giveaway.
Wait, let me just 20 seconds. 20 seconds. You'll understand.
I just wanted to say something about before you lose.
But it's a part of it, I think.
No.
Okay.
It was what's his name said a little comment. Brzezinski. What's the boyfriend's name?
Chuck.
Chuck.
Joe, of course.
Joe.
Morning,
Joe. Joe made a
Chuck.
very subtle little comment in there in that last clip that indicated to me that there was some sort of money that he's losing. If you listen carefully, if you can back it up.
Oh, okay.
He makes this very subtle. He's just a little whining comment.
Be a part of that. And more people need to step up who have done business with him or taken money from him. I'm sorry. But you can't do it now.
That was a big 3-book deal.
You have some issues. So along with Nick Confessori.
You just said no.
Well, and I'm also going to write about it in my book, so the company better be ready for that.
You know what's so interesting is he leaked it.
He leaked
against your will that he had signed you to a 3-book deal.
Yeah. Well, the book's not done, and now Harvey Weinstein's going to be a big part of it.
Oh, woo! There you go. Book is only going to get better.
Now, here's another thing he said. I don't know what Joe's an idiot. He says he leaked it again. No, it's called a press release.
No, but I think in this case, it was not an agreed to press release, and he's the one that went out and told
when you're working for a big publisher where there's a lot of money involved, you have turned over.
I'm sure she was happy when he did it.
Yeah.
Elated. Woo, look at me. I'm sure.
That's the way the system works, and that's the way he operates. He does that. He knows how to get maximum impact. That's why he was so good as a Hollywood producer.
But if you go back to the beginning of the clip, she is claiming to feel used because her book is about strong, independent women. And that he used her to, just for more cover of him being a sexual predator, because that's, I think, the correct term, predator.
Yeah, I heard all that. I think she's full of crap, but okay. but you could hear in Joe's voice about it was a big, you could hear this money. You can hear the money going in the wrong direction. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you're probably right. She probably had to give some money back. But it'll just go to another publisher. Who is Weinstein's? What is the name? Who does he own?
I don't know.
I got to know.
I don't know. Okay, you look that up. Okay. But in the meantime, there's more shoes to drop. And this is what I'm waiting for. I mean, this is the moment. Anyone who now does not come forward, because it will not take a lot of courage, I think, at this point, to come forward and say, hey, I've had this experience with this person. And, career be damned. And I think you'll be okay.
Weinstein Books?
Woo! No, there you go. That would make sense.
God.
Inventive.
Inventive.
Yeah. But what's even cooler about stuff like this is in this day of video age, And everybody has a recording of something somewhere, except my rocket car of death on Circus of the Stars, which even ABC can't find for me anymore, with Hulk Hogan, which would be beautiful to have. My stunt. Yeah, I really want that in my archives. We have stars today, such as Jimmy Kimmel, who used to he came from The Man Show. Then The Man Show was pretty much
like incredibly sexist show.
Yeah. And in this one particular bit, of which I have a little bit of audio and video in the show notes if you're interested, is him on the street, man on the street, asking very attractive young girls to guess what he has in his pants.
I've stuffed something
and they're allowed to touch it.
In my pants, and you're allowed to feel around on the outside of the pants. You have 10 seconds to then guess what is in my pants. You should use two hands. Two hands. Before, haven't you? Maybe it would be easier if you put your mouth on. How old are you?
18.
Okay, good. You sure of that? Because Uncle Jimmy doesn't need to do time. You're going to make a fine wife. I think I wore the rubber underpants. And your guess is?
Vibrator?
A vibrator? No, it is actually a zucchini with a rubber band on it. But you can use it as a vibrator if you want. Look. This is a good game. This is a good game.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is cool now. It's like, yeah, look at you, dick.
Very douchey thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine if you're going to stay with it and maintain that line. Like, it just when you turn, I don't know. I find it disgusting.
Yeah. But hopefully more to come. It would be very disappointing if nothing else came out about someone else being really creepy. And maybe we should listen to Corey Feldman.
What does he say?
Oh, my goodness. That he was raped. That he was passed around by Hollywood gay pedo bear. Yeah, horrible stories. And he's never been taken seriously.
Right.
Because that can't happen. That's just crazy. And I'm sure people, no, Weinstein, look at him. That's a creep. But trading children, initiating as singers, female singers into lesbian cults. Nah, that doesn't happen. Totally.
Okay.
What?
Sorry.
What are you doing? Did you just
spilled my coffee all over the place?
I thought something happened during the clip. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to interrupt you. Do you want to take a second? We can ask the control room. What do you have?
Well, we could stop tape if you need to, John.
Do you want to stop tape while you clean up?
Yes.
Okay.
Stop tape, everybody. Just stop tape. Goodbye. And everybody, we're back in 5, 4. We're coming to John. 3, 2, 1.
Back.
Yes, we are.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. You said it again. Boom.
Boom. Now,
just tell everybody what happened. You okay?
I knocked over my boom and it hit the tea, glass of tea or cup of tea, and knocked it all over the place and got tea on everything. I had to wipe it all up.
At any point, did a golf ball fly through the air, hit a spoon, and then turn on the tap water?
No, but I was just hoping for that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
So, yeah, my daughter keeps saying, why don't you get Hillary's new book? What happened? I said, I'm not going to buy that book. I gave it. Maybe if somebody.
I read it and read it until I just couldn't read it anymore. Even Bill Clinton.
Why don't you send me your copy then? I'll just give it to her.
It's a Kindle. It's a Kindle. Can't do that.
No.
But you should, I was always thinking, shouldn't I just be able to transfer it from my Kindle to your Kindle? Wouldn't that be more fair?
Like, they haven't gotten, I think as far as Amazon's concerned, that would be fine.
Yeah.
But they haven't gotten there yet because I think the publishers hate them anyway, so they're not going to with this stuff.
But I was going to say that even Bill is now quoted as saying that he has heartbreak from it, that he hated it, pleaded, please don't publish this. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And hated the title even more.
Yeah.
And he's depressed. Thinks it's horrible.
I don't know why. She's on the road getting a lot of attention. I think that's really
yeah. And Harvey's chicks are now available.
Harvey's chicks. Okay, so let's see what else we got after my mishap.
Yes. Well, let me see.
S&P. I thought they had one good Trump long. No, I don't think so. I think we're out of stuff.
Okay, then let me just throw this in.
I got to wait an entre. I have an entremont to be a good transition.
All right, gotcha.
This is from the morning show with Charlie Rose and Nora, whatever her name is.
Norma O'Donnell. Norma O'Donnell.
Norm Donald. So she steps on his line and they go back and forth, and he kind of does it. I think it's very awkward the way he handles it, because it's just listen to this.
What a mess. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. Gail is off, so Alex Wagner is here.
Right now, I'm sorry.
It's your read. My bad. Go for it.
It was my read.
It was. You're right.
So we continue now. Right now it's time to show you some of this morning's headlines from around the globe.
Yeah, I know this to be a pet peeve of yours when people say, my bad.
Wait a minute. First of all, this is a clip about the gaffe.
Yeah.
But you immediately recognize the fact, yes, I hate it. Where does it come from? Who says my bad?
It is. You've even
Where did it start?
You called me out on it once and one time only, and I have never said it since.
Well, here's the question on my
mind. And I don't know why, other than, it sounds lame, I guess.
When did it start? Because it started only within the last 10 or 20 years.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think
when I was 80s. A kid, nobody ever said, my bad.
No, they said far out.
Well, they said, oh, wow. And they said stuff like that. And, but right on. That's another. It's actually hanging right in there. It's another irksome thing to say. Right on.
I say right on.
I went to a liquor store the other day, and the guy, I said, he says, you got everything? He said, you find anything you want? I said, yeah. Right on, he says. And he says, you have a card? Yeah, I've got one here. Right on. He said it again. And he said it about 5 times. Right on. Everything, his reaction, everything was right on. I found it extremely annoying.
Okay, the authoritative discussion of the phrase, my bad, at this Random House site says it originates in pickup basketball as a phrase used by young urban players when admitting to an error. So it's really a cultural appropriation. It has spread to other domains and is now widely used to mean something like, I admit that I have made a mistake. 2005 is when that was.
It's not admitting to making a mistake. I think it's glib. I think it's a glib way of saying, I made a mistake, so what?
According to phrases.org.uk, my bad, meaning my mistake, I'm to blame origin. This slang term originated in about 1970. At that time, that is, pre the widespread use of the internet, slang terms often circulated at street level for many years before being adopted by anyone who felt inclined to write them down. That's clearly not the case any longer. The first citation in print is C. Wielgus and A. Wolf's Back-in-Your-Face Guide to Pickup Basketball, 1986. My bad, an expression of contrition uttered after making a bad pass or missing an opponent. However, Shakespeare used the term in Sonnet 112, your love and pity doth the impression fill, which vulgar scandal stamped upon my brow. For what care I who calls me well or ill? So you are green, my bad, my good allow. Yeah, screw it. I like to pick up basketball better. Well, there you go. Cultural appropriation is your answer.
That's what it is.
Good.
Street argot being picked up by Whitey.
You can call people out when they say that.
I'm going to do that now.
You say that, that's cultural appropriation from urban pickup basketball. So, you really should be ashamed of yourself. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, John C. C stands for Clooney is a spy. Dvorak.
Oh, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning, all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, all the dames and knights out there.
In the morning, everybody in the chat room at noagendastream.com. Thank you for joining us live today. You got some extra bennies. When John spilled his tea, you even got extra show material. And thank you to Conan Salata, who gave us the gift that just keeps on giving, the Harvey Weinstein Behind a Plant album art for episode 9071, titled that was Madcom, machine assisted. Was it machine art driven?
Assisted communications?
No, MAD, machine assisted driven machine. Can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, we know it. That's how important it is.
Yeah, right. But Harvey, man, what a great shot with that plant. It's just beautiful. Very, very funny. Very, very funny. And thank you to Conan Salata for doing that. And thank you to all of the artists who diligently are uploading to noagendaartgenerator.com, which you can check out anytime you want. There's great stuff there. T-shirts get made from that stuff. It's cool. noagendashop.com. And we have some people.
All right, so we have a bunch of executive producers that all coincidentally donate $333, 33 cents. Well, 33 cents, not all of them. I found that peculiar since there was no real call for that. Starting with Baroness Sarah Bradley.
Yeah, she sent us some emails back and forth too, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll read her note that came in. I think it's the same as it is. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Okay. It's the same note I printed out.
Yes, proof.
ITM from Baroness Sarah Bradley, the Protectorate of Sonoma County. Please send tons of karma and the use of the rain stick for my beautiful country and include Napa County too. The damage is unimaginable and feared that it's going to get worse with tomorrow's wind. I need a no agenda intervention. So far, my house has been spared, but 1,500 have been not so lucky. And with 0% containment, it's too early to think that it won't happen to me. We have so many obstacles to overcome in the near future. Karma, love, and support from the No Agenda producers is appreciated. Okay?
Yes, and she ends with love and light, Baroness Sarah Bradley. I'm going to do another stick for her. I care not what happens to me.
And then do a karma for her, too.
Yeah, of course. She's a baroness. I mean, you got to do it.
You've got karma.
And I know people are new to the show and it's like, this morons, what is this rain stick business? Just watch. I have faith in the stick.
Sean Motyl, M-O-T-Y-L, in Mineola, Florida, $333.33. I've been trying to cut back on spending lately, but who's kidding who? Who knows what motivates people to donate? I sure don't, but I just wanted to show my appreciation for the best podcast in the universe. I do have one complaint that I can't forget. Way back during the election time, Adam was contemplating why they were keeping old Bill around, and he opined that maybe after the election, they just give him two to the head.
No, just before the election, actually, is what I said.
Yeah, this was a theory of ours. There was a perfect pause, but no jingle. How terrible. Too bad you don't go back and edit it.
Yeah, sure.
End of the complaint.
Yeah, okay.
Then he says, if I can open this box, you guys do outstanding work, Vegas coverage included. Keep it up. I look forward to another 10 years. Jingle request, goat scream, and two to the head.
Happy to do it.
You've got karma.
Tammy Webster in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Yes, Eric attached her note as a PDF, which I did not. I should have, but I did not print. So I'm going to have to download it. It doesn't take a second. Open with Twain.
No
problem. Dear John and Adam, thank you for... well, I'm not going to read this whole note. This thing is a mile long. I mean, this is the beginning of the first chapter of War and Peace. Dear John, now thank you for the show. You've gotten me and my husband and daughter through the past few years. Your show has been a part of all us maintaining our sanity, especially during the last year's election. While we have been longtime listeners, we have also been longtime douchebags. Another long story, and one we hopefully can explain soon, but I had to donate today after listening to Sunday's show. Please bear with me, and following will probably be lengthy, but it's about a subject I'm passionate about, my daughter and her success. And then she goes on about...
Well, I'd like to sum it up.
Okay.
She has there's a beautiful note, and I really appreciated that she sent that in. It's a little bit too long to read on the show. I don't know if she intended that, actually. But her daughter has Asperger's syndrome. And she... what she's in general saying is that there's no way that the good doctor claimed on in one of the clips we played that Paddock had Asperger's, and then she goes on to defend people with Asperger's, that they're not morons and kill. I can understand this.
Well, Bill Gates has Asperger's, so let's.
Robin Williams had it. Tim Burton, Bobby Fischer, Dan Aykroyd. There's lots of people.
Yeah,
lots of people. So then I think that was, she felt it was not insensitive of us, but she wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. Aspies are fine. They're interesting people too.
Yeah.
Does she have? Yeah. Okay, you're right. Bill Gates is a dick. I'm down.
No, Bill Gates isn't a dick. He's actually a pretty nice guy.
Oh.
I hate to say it, but
Damn it. I wanted to hate him. All right. Anything? NJNK?
Is that what it says at the end?
No, it doesn't. That's what. There's nothing about it. So
I'll just give her a karma. She needs a karma. Yes.
You've got karma.
She says right there, we'll take a little jobs karma and a house selling karma.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right at the bottom.
A little girl what?
We all three will take a little jobs karma, not a little girl.
Oh, a little jobs karma? All right.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
And she was in for $333.33. No, she was just $333. Okay. She left out the 33 cents. Okay. Onward with associate executive producer, Chris Cowan. And he will be, again, we have the same numbers coming in for the associate executive. This is always strange to me, but it's a random number theory. Hey, John and Adam, as part of the celebration of my birthday on Saturday, 10/14, I hope he's on the list.
Yep.
I'm going for this producer's credit. This also completes my knighthood, while I will be happy to protect the northern border of Austin.
Yes.
From the barbarian hordes in Round Rock.
Georgetown. And Pflugerville, yes.
And Pflugerville.
Yes, good.
Which is an inside joke, apparently, that I'm not getting.
Yeah. Well, happy to have you, Sir Chris. Can't wait for your ceremonies and get on the stick here. Protect
he wants
us.
two to the head, a clippity-clop, a Putin, and a shut-up slave.
Clippity-clop.
The message is clear.
Just clippity-clop.
You've got karma.
I mean, we have 4 associate executive producers, and they all gave the exact same amount of money.
Yeah, it's great.
Please accept
it's the moon cycle, man.
Seattle Stradler in Seattle, California, Seattle, Washington, $200. It kind of is.
Yeah.
Please accept a thank you from the millennial living in Seattle for your outstanding service in creating the best podcast in the universe. Without this product, I'm afraid that I would still be thinking like a standard Seattle slave, adrift in the sea of overly emotional media campaigns and technical glitches.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Nice.
Supporting No Agenda is truly like owning a part of the great investment. I'm looking forward to listening up to and far beyond episode 2049.
Blade Runner. No Agenda 2049. One of our producers made this beautiful Blade Runner clip, but it's like 3 minutes, so we're going to put it in the best of. It's too long for the end of the show.
Okay.
But it's very good. I'll play it on the pre-stream on Sunday for sure.
I'd like to request karma for the $50 and lower subscribers.
Done. Thank you very much.
You've got karma.
Seattle Stradler.
Juan Tascon in Orlando, Florida, 200. Need job karma and general karma urgently. Hopefully I can still make it for the Sunday 10/8 show. See separate mail to Adam from Juanita.
Juanita?
Oh, Wanta. It says Wanta.
It says Juan Tascon. Juan
Tascon. All one word.
Juan Tascon. Only give me a second. I neglected to open up my email. Then, it's not like I have something cool like squirrel mail where you just go to the browser and it's there.
Yeah, squirrel mail, man. You can just boom.
I know. Boom. There it is again.
Boom.
Boom. You like saying the boom.
I didn't say it at all in the last show.
Follow-up email. Here we go. You're probably... Some, if not all, the symptoms you've complained about over the years are as a consequence of... Oh, well, hold on a second. Follow-up email reference on my $200 donation to the show. Longtime listener, I have a monthly subscription but need job karma and general karma badly. You're probably wasting your time. Of course, you are only going to agree with that statement in the future. Hindsight is 20/20. Some, if not all the symptoms you've complained about over the years are as a consequence of worms in your intestinal tract. This is very common among people who lived in Africa at some point in their lives. I sent you a book in the past that helps parents heal autistic children, but most therapies apply to adults as well. You won't believe this until you start killing and pooping them. Seeing is believing. Wow. My Tourette's as well?
He didn't. Does he say?
Pooping.
What is he talking about? What symptoms do you have?
He says that the things he's heard me complain about over the last 10 years, longtime listener, he says are directly related to worms.
You're filled with worms.
I'm full of worms, man.
Well, you did live in Africa.
Yes, that's why it's interesting.
And Africa is filled with worms, I can assure you.
So I have worms?
I mean, when you go to eat, you want to try all these great meats that are in Africa if you're a meat eater.
And
everything is cooked to death.
I'm going to hurl, man.
Because of the worms.
So, Dr. John, what do I do about my worms?
Get some wormer. Go to the veterinarian.
Deworming. Can I just take pet deworming stuff? Will that help?
No, just go to your doctor and say, hey, this guy suggests I got worms. And after the doctor stops laughing, he'll give you something if you really want it. And you'll poop them out.
Wow. Okay.
People get worm. They get hookworm. There's a lot of worms that get into people. As long as they stay in the digestion and the tract's down there, they're safe. But once you start
moving
gravitating around the body, it becomes problematic.
Yeah, that's how you get Tourette's, maybe. It's just worms just twitching in my head. Damn,
I don't think so. I hope
screwed. Not. All right. Juan, thank you very much. I'm thoroughly grossed out. Here's some karma for you.
You've got
I got
karma.
Worms. You got ants? I got worms. Hi, we're ant and worm.
Steve Fisher, parts unknown, another $200, and he'll be our last associate executive producer. And he says, fabulous analysis lately. Result, I have many insights that others do not. I am kicking it during bar conversations. By the way, this is one of the benefits of the show that we don't emphasize enough, that in the social situation, you can, since you'll have a grasp way above the average person of what's going on, and you can throw little zingers in there that just drive them crazy. Once I learned how to interpret or interject no agenda insights into conversations without drawing blood and actual mouth hitting, I started to get an audience.
Yep.
Adam, you still have to come up to someplace in Idaho. George Soros is asking, when will you be here? Was that in the same note? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but I don't understand it. Isn't Soros... George Soros is in Idaho?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Do you?
All right, well, thank you very much.
I thought he was had a cave someplace.
Thank you, Steve Fisher. I'm going to give him a karma for the Soros confusion. I have no idea.
You've got karma.
We'll take what we can get. Beautiful.
All right, that concludes our associate executive producers and executive producers, who all gave pretty much the same amount except for the missing 33 cents, which Adam can throw in to round it up.
Well, I can just throw that's a 33-cent coin there.
There you go. And that will, we want to thank them for producing show 972.
Yes. And wear these titles with pride because they are official credits. Executive producer and associate executive producer of the No Agenda Show, episode 972. Thank you very much. And we'll be thanking more people later on who came in at $50 or above. And remember us for our Sunday show.
Dvorak.org/NA.
That's right. You've got the knowledge. You get it here. You go out there. You propagate the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up,
Yo.
So the last little guy that's kind of still part of what we're talking about is this little thing going on with Corker and Trump.
Yeah.
And I was noticing this. I was watching the news, and he calls him Little Corker, but he spells it with D's, and I don't know what.
Little Bob. What is the problem here? Who did what?
They hate each other, and I can see why. Corker is a petite male.
Napoleon complex.
Well, I mean, Napoleon actually wasn't as short as Corker or small. He's a very small guy, but he's a petite male. It's a certain body frame. And Trump is a big oaf. I mean, this is a classic example of two guys who will never get along, Mutt and Jeff. And so they get into a beef, and it's not going to end. And then we had this issue, the follow-up issue, which they had to play up because we had the moron commentary, which were continuing as part of the cycle.
Yes.
And now the IQ challenge. So let's play this clip. Corker IQ CBS.
Now to the latest episode of the Republican Family Feud, pitting President Trump against Senator Bob Corker. Here's White House correspondent Margaret Brennan.
In an early morning tweet, President Trump referred to the Tennessee Republican as Little Bob Corker and said he was made to sound a fool by a New York Times reporter who recorded their conversation.
According to Scott Adams, who thinks this is an outstanding thing to do, the reason he spelled it with 2 D's was, he says, if it was indeed engineered that way, I think it gives Trump a lot of credit, but it could just be natural talent. Is to make you focus on it and embed it into your brain, which I'm sure is very effective. Little 2 Ds, I mean, even you knew. So he says that's an embedding technique.
Yet in this audio clip, the senator clearly consents to being taped.
I know they're recording it, and I hope you are too.
Yeah, I am.
In that interview, Corker said Mr. Trump may be headed towards World War III. Today, White House spokesperson Sarah Sanders weighed in.
Senator Corker is certainly entitled to his own opinion, but he's not entitled to his own facts.
She then repeated the erroneous claim that Corker supported the Iran nuclear deal.
We have concerns.
Even though he voted against it.
He may have voted against the deal ultimately, but he not only allowed the deal to happen, he gave it credibility.
The Iran deal is also a source of tension with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Last week, it was revealed that Tillerson called the president a moron in a private meeting.
I guarantee you, my IQ is much higher than theirs, all right?
During the campaign, the president often bragged about his intelligence. Regarding Tillerson, the president told Forbes magazine, I guess we'll have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who is going to win. A comment he later denied hurt the secretary's credibility.
No, I didn't undercut anybody. I don't believe in undercutting people.
State Department spokesperson Heather Nauert.
What's the secretary's IQ?
It's high. At the briefing, Sarah Sanders said it was all a joke and insisted that the president still has full confidence in the Secretary of State. Anthony?
Margaret Brennan with the IQ wars at the White House. Thanks.
IQ wars at the White House. Bring up a lower third, everybody.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, IQ wars in the White House. Breaking news.
I thought it was kind of a screwball presentation.
Yeah, waste of everybody's time, really.
Yeah, I think so.
Really a waste of time.
But this light, it's light. It's something light.
Yes. Let me think which way we should go. Do you want to talk about Vegas? I think we should.
I think we should too, but I want to put it off and get some more stuff out of the way.
Okay.
Well, I mean, like international stuff, like the Benghazi. Did we play the Benghazi?
Yeah, we did. We played it as a toss at the last minute, and it was very interesting.
Okay, well, I got a Raqqa update then.
A Raqqa update. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. You're just filled with updates.
Overseas, ISIS has been losing its grip on Syria. Raqqa, ISIS' so-called capital, may be liberated by U.S.-backed forces within days, and there is a surge of volunteers aching to finish off the terror group. Holly Williams reports from northern Syria.
As ISIS faces defeat in Raqqa, these Syrian men have volunteered to finish them off. The new recruits learned to detect explosives today on roads, inside houses, and detonated via remote control. After just 15 days of training, they'll head straight for the front line. America's closest allies on the ground here in Syria are shopkeepers, truck drivers, tailors, and construction workers. We asked them how many had lost family members to ISIS. They've killed my relatives, cousins and neighbours, said Ahmed Shahata, who was a butcher until he signed up. They're driven by revenge and hungry for American help. US Special Operations soldiers oversee the training, but don't want to show their faces. Without American airstrikes, defeating ISIS would have been near impossible. But some of those now escaping ISIS territory say it's the strikes that are their biggest fear. The US coalition admits that more than 700 civilians have been inadvertently killed in Syria and Iraq. Others claim the number is far higher.
Report goes on, and it's also discombobulated, much like the other CBS reports I'm playing.
And it's maybe coincidental. Former Defense Secretary Ash Carter, he's still former, right? He didn't.
I hope so.
He left, right? Yeah, Ash Carter. He was taking phone calls on NPR. And it's like, Syria is over, man. It's all going to be, you watch, I tell you, it's all going to be Afghanistan. The orders are, go kill Taliban. That's what it's all going to be. It's going to shift away from this. And here's what he was saying about it basically being over. And, oh, by the way, the Russians were no help.
Well, my question to you, sir, is it seems that President Putin has more sway and clout in the Middle East than ever before. And I'm wondering how you read that in terms of U.S. influence in the Middle East, in the region.
Well, I read Vladimir Putin. People often ask me, what is Vladimir Putin thinking? And, of course, I've dealt with him for many years now. And I say, you don't have to wonder what he's thinking. He tells you what he's thinking. And he does want to play a stronger hand in the world. And above all, he wants to thwart the United States. He sets that as a specific objective, which makes it so hard to deal with Vladimir. In general, I'm in favor of talking with other powers, including those who may be our opponents. But if somebody's specific objective is to frustrate you, it's a little hard to build a bridge to that objective. That has been his objective. In the Middle East, your question, he came into Syria. His defense minister called me to say that they intended to fight ISIS and to move Assad out of Syria. Both of which move Assad aside, as he said.
That hasn't happened.
Well, neither. They didn't fight ISIS either. So the two things they said they were going to do, they didn't do. Instead, they fueled the civil war in Syria and buttressed Assad, and they did nothing. It is we who've defeated ISIS. Russia had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, you just took away their health care and took them off the payroll, and that ended it.
Well, that's interesting.
He's a liar.
Yeah, I know he's a liar.
Huge liar. Okay, here's a 3-clip sequence that will take us somewhere.
And by the way, there's never been any talk about him wanting to get rid of Assad.
No.
So now there is.
He's full of crap. Okay. We've been tracking bullying since before the social justice warrior movement really popped its head up. And we were all over that from day one. What is bullying? How do you handle a bully? Is it free speech? And what we saw everywhere is laws being introduced to combat bullying. And, which is that is what you call a slippery slope. What exactly is bullying, and when are you trying to squelch someone's free speech? And we kind of concluded that's what it's about. Our Dollarette friends in Scandinavia have taken it to a new level.
If a child is caught bullying or attacking another student, their parent will pay the fine or do the time. The parent could spend up to 15 days in jail and pay $250. The North Tonawanda Common Council unanimously passed the new law last week.
We didn't feel like maybe anything was being done. And then all of a sudden I heard about this ordinance going through. So it was shocking and welcome.
Victoria Crago's son was attacked by his classmates in June. It happened off school grounds, but it pushed Crago to do something. And she found out other parents had complained of violence at North Tonawanda Middle School, too, which led to the Facebook group, the North Tonawanda Coalition for Safe Schools and Streets. Crago hopes this new law will help prevent other kids from getting hurt.
I think that these teens have figured out that they can get away with this, which is why they're repeat offenders. But if there's a tougher law in place, that may give them pause.
We want the message out there that we're serious about this. We don't want anyone to be afraid to be in our city or to walk the streets or go to school.
North Tonawanda Mayor Art Pappas says the city isn't trying to focus on punishment, but more so prevention. And he says it's geared towards repeat offenders.
I think it's going to get a message out there that certain parents who haven't now have to take some responsibility for their children.
Distressing. Tonawanda in New York?
No, it's. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Is it upstate New York?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's in Canada.
I thought that this was the Tonawanda. No. Okay. Now I have to go and look at it.
I just don't like you seeing blaming the.
No, I feel horrible. Yeah, it says North Tonawanda, New York. But it said the headline says anti-bullying law in Canada. Maybe I don't know. Okay. Well, screw that.
Well, maybe the Canadians saw what went on and they said, "Let's do some laws." Eh?
Yeah, that's possible.
Maybe.
That's possible. Eh? And it was Scandinavia when they said "a" after it. So
yes.
But okay, worse. It's in America. We're stupid. This, part of, I'm at risk of sounding like an old fuddy-duddy. Growing up with bullies is part of life and learning how to deal with people and bullies because they exist, and just shielding everyone from this and shaming parents, I don't think is going to give anyone the tools you may need outside of Tonawanda.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, boxing class would help.
Meanwhile, in the UK, they have taken it to a new level. And we don't say bullying, we say hate crime in the UK. So we have a new police hub to crack down on cyber hate crime.
A new national police hub to track down people who abuse others on social media and online will be set up by the government. The Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, says it is an important step.
In 2015 to 16, there were over 62,500 hate crimes recorded by police in England and Wales, but less than 15,500 resulted in prosecutions. The Home Secretary hopes to address the lag with a new centralised police hub to crack down on cyber hate crime. A similar idea was launched in London by the Mayor in April.
I'm committed to continuing with our zero-tolerance approach to all hate crime, wherever and whenever we find it.
The national scheme will focus on punishing perpetrators and safeguarding victims. But the specialist team will only be small in size, with initial funding of just £200,000. And some say policing the internet should not be draining already strapped public resources at all.
This independent hub should be set up as an industry standard by the social media companies themselves. They should be funding it. They're making huge profits on this. And they're a publisher. They're publishing these statements and these abusive remarks or threats. So they should be taking responsibility. It happens in every other industry.
Technology has given criminals more platforms to operate untapped. And the battle against keyboard warriors will be a hard one to win.
So here's where it gets interesting.
Wait, they're making tons and tons and tons and tons of profits from these bullies.
Yes. Why would they cut them off? No. But here's where it gets interesting. So this constant call for their publishers, and you're seeing that the same with the Russian Facebook ads, and they need to take responsibility. And once they give into that, then that's the beginning.
Yeah, they're screwed.
They're screwed. It's the end. Now, there's an interesting experiment, and it is interesting because I'm interested to see what the outcome is, which will either be groundbreaking and the start of something new, or, Ben, I have to say I am going to lean a bit on the downside that it could be a disastrous mistake.
Hey guys, it's Taylor. I've got something pretty awesome that we've been working on for a while that I wanted to share with you.
This is, you're seeing now screenshots of the Swift Life, her new social media platform for the Swifties.
I see how this is gonna go. Another day, another drama.
I think you guys are really going to like this. I mean, I hope. It would be preferable if you did.
Are you ready for it?
So she's starting her own Twitter, pretty much, your own Twitter, Facebook hybrid, maybe even based on Mastodon, who knows? But it could be wildly successful and very interesting if they treat it as a closed community with very strict guidelines and real names, etc. Or it could be disastrous once some creep gets on there trolling for young girls or something of that nature.
Pray.
So it's pray that happens.
It's a pun. Go on.
Yeah. I would really like it if it succeeded, which means we could have just a dream possibly, but we could have a splintering and weaken the stronghold that Silicon Valley has on people's heads.
Well, that would be nice. That part would be good.
Yeah.
The other part, I don't know. I mean,
and if they use something like Mastodon that could, quote, federate and work across installs, that would be phenomenal.
So our No Agenda social media could talk to the
Swifties. Yes, and they could
maybe
block
get some new listeners. So I think the Swifties would be perfect for our show.
Yeah, they're all alt-right Nazi chicks. They'd love us.
They're all Nazis.
Yeah, they'd love us over here. That's great. Nazi quadroons, I believe, is what we were accused of being.
Yes. Yeah. I guess we're not shapeshifters.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to join that one.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting on the Swift life.
Yeah. It should be very deep.
Alt-right KKK Nazi quadroons is the exact quote. There we go.
Okay.
I'd forgotten our moniker.
Well, you're talking about, she may be actually targeting, I don't know, what's her audience? Mostly 13-year-olds? I don't know. I can't tell.
Well, I'd say it's younger than
millennials, a lot of older millennials, younger millennials.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore.
Well, since she turned on, she turned into a Nazi.
She turned into a Nazi and didn't come out against Trump. So everyone scoffs her, but I think there's still a lot of buying of the music going on. I'd say it's like 9 to 15, 16 probably.
So I want to not really fully change the subject, but I want to just kind of shift focus a little bit to this particular story that I got a kick out of. This is the 26-year-old market, which I guess the 26-year-olds are what everyone wants to target now, because that is the biggest single age group in terms of total population in the United States, maybe the world.
The Wall Street Journal reports retailers have a new target customer. It is the 26-year-old millennial. It is the biggest age group in the United States. This generation is different with its tech-dependent lifestyle. As children, they spent less time helping with chores at home. Now some companies are hosting tutorials to teach basic home management skills.
Yes, the end of America.
Yeah. Well, yes.
But before you continue, I want to say something, which is that high schools used to have a course mostly
called
girls.
home
economics.
Home ec, yes.
Home ec, right? Home ec is exactly what they called it. And in those classrooms, they used to have like a classroom full of stoves.
Yeah, you learn how to cook.
You could actually learn how to cook. Those courses have all been, along with shop class, which has also been pulled out of most high schools. Most of those courses, the home ec courses, have been pulled out of high schools. A lot of people, they did what? They had what? What?
Stoves?
Because of liability issues and insurance problems. So that we can't teach the kids how to repair a car. We can't teach the kids how to hammer a nail. We can't teach kids how to cook a chicken. We can't teach anything because of one thing or another. And in this case, which can be resolved, by the way, this insurance liability issues can always be resolved by certain kinds of group organizations, and it can be done. But they decided, we don't know anyone that can cook either, so we can't even teach it. So they got rid of all these courses in most of the schools.
Well,
and we have this situation where now you can take
cheese. Just make mac and cheese. Everyone knows how to make
cheese.
Yeah.
You can now. You have to take. They want to start teaching these kids home economics in sort of like a boot camp. And I can assure you, by the way, I have these four. I get the younger and the older millennials that I'm surrounded by, and I can assure you that two things that should be observed. One, the younger millennials actually can cook, clean up, do stuff.
Yes, I agree. And they're very good at it. All the millennials in my life are outstanding cooks.
A little bit, but they're a little bit
limited. They're limited though. They have limited.
Well, that's because they're just young.
Yeah.
But my daughter likes to clean up, but she throws everything out. She's throws everything out. It's terrible. So I have to go through everything she does.
In the trash can, pulling out bits and bobs that she threw out. She throws.
You'd be astonished by what she throws out.
All right.
My Babe Ruth autographed baseball. Why did you throw that out?
134.
It was
38.
old. Anyway, so
34, 38.
So you have the older millennials. It's unbelievable. I mean,
yes.
By the way, they don't listen to the show, so I don't have to worry about it. But they are messes. They can't clean. They can't pick stuff off the floor. They don't know how to sweep.
I want to deconstruct something with you that I just it hit me all of a sudden. This right business, right? It could be wrong, right? But I think I know why the millennials. Did I
say right?
Right. I know why they're using this.
Who's using it?
Millennials, and I know why. I think.
Right.
It's a tick, and it comes from the following situation. When you text with your daughter or with your son, although Buzzkill Jr. on the edge, do they hit send after every line, or do they type it all into one message and hit send?
I think there's a combination.
Well, my experience...
But I'm thinking mostly they type the whole message, then hit send.
Okay, my experience is
it goes to
line send, line send, line send, line send, line right, line right, line right, line right, line send, line send. It's replacing hitting the send button.
We're putting the word right in?
Yeah, because that's how millennials speak to each other. They speak through WhatsApp and Messenger. And it's like, hit return, send. Send. Internet, right?
I see what you're saying. You're saying when they vocalize.
Yes, when they vocalize, they're actually texting.
Send.
Yes. And in fact,
it's like over.
Yes, in fact, they should say, instead of saying over. Right, they should say over. Or send. Over. Or just send. So we were at the mall, send. And, it was really good. Everyone was there, send.
Over.
Over
is better.
Over. Over. I agree. If we could get kids to say over, I'd be all for it. Over. All right.
So now they're going to have these courses, and I can just see this coming because of these. There's always the millennial expert. The blind. It's not the blind teaching the blind. It's the millennial expert teaching other millennials, and so they're going to have these. And I'm starting to maybe see it already creeping into television, where you have this organizational experts coming in to show you how to organize, how to vacuum. How do you vacuum? First, you got to vacuum. Different kinds of vacuum cleaners you need to know about. This is going to be interesting.
Vacuum cleaners.
Well, they can't clean.
No, they can't. Mine
can't clean.
Mine can.
They can't cook.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The country's going to crap, John. Say it. Say it. Hey, I caught Steve Wynn talking about the Vegas shooting.
Oh, what did he have to say?
Well, I have a couple clips here. This was on, I think it was on Fox News. Isn't he blind?
He's almost blind. He has some sort of retinitis pigmentosis or something that causes very slow blindness. He's starting to, you can see it when he starts to look.
Yeah,
he can still see blurry images. The irony to him being blind, of course, is his great appreciation for fine art.
Yeah, this is a great story.
And the other one is like I'm over there visiting with his brother and in Vegas, and Steve was in one of the facilities, and I said, "Whose Ferrari is that?"
Stevie Wonder's.
Steve Wynn's Ferrari parked in front. I'm thinking, I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking, geez.
Yeah. Well, didn't he put his hand through a Picasso or something accidentally?
I think it was a
Monet. It was something better.
No, it wasn't a Monet. I know what it was. It's like, I can't remember the artist, but it was yeah, he did.
And then,
but I don't think that's because of his eyesight. I think
no, I thought it was pointing something out and he stuck his finger right through it. It was something like, maybe it was embellished.
I think that's an exaggerated story. He did damage a painting though.
Well, Here he is, and apparently it was, and I don't remember this, it was Steve Wynn who warned a year ago about Vegas being a prime target for terror, and he developed a plan for his hotels and resorts.
Steve, it was over a year ago when you said that Las Vegas was a target city and you were going to harden your hotels and casinos. What did you do?
Actually, it was 2 years ago Thanksgiving.
2 years.
And I got every consultant and advisor I can think of to come through from...
Doesn't he sound like Giuliani a bit?
Yeah, I think it's milieu.
Oh, of course.
Consultant and advisor I can think of to come through from...
just like him now, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Ray Kelly to people from SEALs Team 6.
SEALs.
It took us from Thanksgiving until May to develop and institute and recruit a program of counterterrorism. Basically, we had to recruit and expand security by tens of millions of dollars to cover every entrance, to retrain the entire workforce from housekeeping and room service, and people are in the tower and observing people. We had to cover every exit and every aspect of the building to see if we could identify and preempt any kind of terroristic or violent action. It's never perfect, of course, but what you can do, to use local vernacular, you can change the odds, I guess. I know that my friends at MGM are particularly fastidious about trying to protect their employees and their guests. Having said that, there are a couple of things in retrospect, and it's always good to look over your shoulder on these things. But we have a routine with housekeeping, with room service, with audio-visual, anybody that goes in the room to do an inspection. We also have rules about do not disturb. If a room goes on do not disturb for more than 12 hours, we investigate. We don't allow guns in this building unless they're being carried by our employees, and there's a lot of them. But if anybody's got a gun, and we find them continually, we eject them from the hotel.
That just kind of gives you an idea of what type of security we would expect, also from his peers. This contradictory statement about the profile of the alleged shooter Paddock is entertaining.
It's an interesting question. He's been staying in Las Vegas since 2006. So we're talking about 11 years. With his girlfriend, or at least in recent years, frequent visitor once or twice a month to this hotel and others. The most vanilla profile one could possibly imagine. A modest gambler, at least by our standards, nothing serious, paid promptly, never owed any money anywhere in Las Vegas. He didn't fit the profile of a problem or a compulsive gambler. If there was anything interesting that we discovered in the years of service, and we have butlers and waiters and masseuses and people in the beauty shop that know this woman and this man completely.
No hookers.
They talk about normal, mundane things. But if there's anything interesting that stood out over the 6 years, nobody that's ever worked here has ever seen the gentleman or the lady take a drink of wine, beer, or alcohol of any kind. Now, a lot of people don't drink, but considering their frequency of all the restaurants and their behavior as normal tourists, taking advantage of everything that's available in our resort, they never, ever imbibed in any liquor. Their behavior was conservative, private, understated in every way. You never ever would stop a man like this coming in the building. However, nobody in this company's history, no public person has ever walked in the service elevator unless they were accompanied by security. Nobody ever goes in the back of the house unaccompanied by security. But another thing, being in a room for 3 days in a do not disturb situation, that would have triggered an alarm here, and would have been considered as a potentially dangerous thing from the guest's point of view, that maybe the person was ill, and we would want to inspect and see that they were safe. We'd go into the room. We'd want to know more about anybody who was sequestered in a room for more than 12 hours. That would be something that our people have been trained to look out for.
I'm curious why he's so sure that there's photos of him with apparently a drink in his hand. Why is this important? And by the way, calling someone a vanilla profile is inherently racist. You want to point that out?
I think I've seen. Yeah. Well, he claims that as a video, or there's some claim somebody made, obviously not him, but that he played. I don't know where this came from, but he says that he played video poker and he had to be sober as a judge because to play video poker and that come out ahead, you have to play it flawlessly. And if you have anything to drink at all, you'll make a mistake, and the odds go way against you. And I'm a big video poker player, so I know how it works. Because there was
Are you really now?
Yeah, I really like video poker. First, I'll just tell you what I think. First of all, there was a training software that was developed by somebody during the early Windows era that I used to train myself to play it properly. And there are things you do, even though some of them are counterintuitive. And you play that certain way, and then you just do it that way, and then they show you that you can kind of at least break even in the long if you don't win. And then you have to find out there are different odds on the machines, and that's the key. I don't know exactly. I don't off the top of my head don't remember the right odds you're looking for, but there's one machine that has the right. Usually, if there's 20 video poker machines in a house, there's be 10% of them or 2 of them maybe will have the odds you're looking for.
And is that published, those odds, or do you have to figure them out?
They're right on this machine.
Huh.
You just look on the machine, and then I've looked at machines and gone, I wouldn't play this machine in a million years. And why is anybody playing it? Because it's like the odds are just dumb. It's just like stupid. Then you find the machines that have the right odds, and I can't tell you exactly what they are, but they refer to the 2 of a kind area and the 3 of a kind. And you see the right odds on the machine. There's always somebody sitting there. You have to either
usually an old Chinese lady.
No, it's usually somebody that knows what they're doing. Oh. And you wait for them to leave, and you can play that machine, and you can do pretty well. But so it's doable. And if you were just whitewashing your money and just kind of doing what you could to break even, you could do very well. You could easily do that on video poker.
10 years, and I learned something new about you all the time. I had no idea that you not only like it, but you're good at it.
I am pretty good at it.
Yeah. Do you have a gun room?
I don't have a gun room.
Oh, thank God.
You?
Yes. It's called the guest bedroom. Here is the final clip from Steve Wynn and his assessment of the shooter.
This is a man who behaved rationally, privately, a little introverted, liked to play video poker, but he was a rational man, and every historical review of his behavior indicates that he was a rational man. So was his girlfriend. And yet he prepared, over an extended period of time, a totally irrational act. Now, this sounds like someone either totally demented, a behavior which he never evidenced, or someone who's sending a message. This is a plan. We don't know what that message is or if there is one, but this behavior, according to my employees, is as stunning, as unexpected as any of them have ever met.
Did he say that his girlfriend was a rational man too?
And that's the status, that I hear from the sheriff and watching television. That seems to be the momentary analysis of the situation. And I really don't have anything to add to that.
Yeah, well, we've had some interesting plot twists since, which sadly leads credence, it gives credence to our analysis. But no, actually, it's sad, but it's thrown everyone for a loop because the timeline changed and
radically,
and my favorite, there was a break-in at his Reno home. I mean, hello, this is NCIS. It went in to go either get evidence or plant evidence, or how does that even happen? Oh, well, someone broke into our secure evidence scene there. This smells of cover-up of something.
Well, let's play my clip, the new timeline. This is the CBS version of this. I have 2 versions.
We know more tonight about what was going on inside a Las Vegas hotel just before a gunman opened fire on an outdoor concert. But there are still questions about the timeline. Jamie Yukas is in Las Vegas.
In a hotel radio recording, you hear some of the first gunshots fired by 64-year-old Stephen Paddock from inside his Mandalay Bay suite.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor.
The voice is building engineer Stephen Schuck.
It's at the end of the hallway.
He arrived to find security guard Jesus Campos under fire.
I can't tell you what room. He looked like he fired down the hallway when I got close to the door.
The recording and a revised police timeline show that although officers initially told reporters Campos interrupted Paddock's assault on the concertgoers, Paddock actually first fired through the door at Campos 6 minutes before the deadly attack.
And nobody's trying to be nefarious. Nobody's trying to hide anything.
Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo defended the shift this morning to our CBS station in Las Vegas.
What we want to do is draw the most accurate picture we can. And I'm telling you right now, today, that timeline might change again.
In a statement, MGM, the owner of Mandalay Bay, disputed the latest police timeline, but gave no detail, saying in part, "We believe what is currently being expressed may not be accurate." In a taped interview with the Las Vegas Review-Journal, Lombardo said police have yet to find a motive for the attack. He said Paddock did not have gambling debts and that he traveled to Mesquite, Nevada several times in the days before the shooting. It's an area CBS News learned law enforcement thinks he may have used for target practice.
We're looking for a trigger point, and right now we haven't been able to find one.
Sheriff Lombardo says Paddock's girlfriend was not concerned with his mental health. And Anthony, it appears a bellman may have helped Paddock get his bags to his room.
Jamie Yukas in Las Vegas. Thanks, Jamie.
Well, that was lame. A bellman helped him. Big deal. And then they find some old area outside of Mesquite. And if anyone's been to Nevada, they know what I'm talking about when it's just some desert. They found somebody shot at something out there. Big deal. I mean, this is common. But what I got a kick out of is they had this rock solid timeline. We had the hero, custodian.
Who by the way, we have lots of video of the repair guy who's out there with the story. But still, where's Mr. Campo? Why do we not have him anywhere? Why are we not bedside or talking with somebody? I don't see any of this.
Well, I mean, he may have the excuse that he's afraid of being deported.
Okay, possible, yeah.
But let's go back and look at what happened. The cops, it took 70 minutes to actually get up there, according to all the reports, no matter how you're going to push the timeline. And the shooting only took place within the first 9 minutes. So we have this report where Campos goes in there. You know, the guy's shooting up the place, and the Campos interrupts him, and he gets shot at and gets hit in the leg. And then the cops come barreling in, and they put a stop to the whole thing, or they don't, or Campos limps off, or who knows. But once Campos showed up, the shooter stopped. So he's a hero. All the right-wing talk show. Hero.
Right, with a gun.
And so now this guy shows up and says, hey, what about this? Or somebody in the maintenance department has this tape because maybe they recorded it. And they say, this doesn't make any sense. And it's almost one of those things like a TV show where they came, hey, I got this. And go away. Talk to me later. Hey, but I got this tape. No, we get that. Right. And so they finally get this thing out. And now all of a sudden, wait a minute, the timeline makes no sense with this new information. So they kind of change everything. I find this to be very peculiar.
Well, yes. And moreover, did Campo therefore lie, or is he not able to speak, or, what happened there? I mean, either he got shot before it happened and the police arrived, or after. I mean, it was his account.
Meanwhile, yes, I agree with that. And again, I'll bring up the fact that this maintenance man had the walkie-talkie. Hey, I got the guy shooting up here. And Campos didn't? And why did it take so long?
A lot of Vegas workers weighed in. Producers sent me notes that typically hotels really go low end for their security people that are walking around. They probably do not have walkie-talkies. If there's something going on, they call it in on their cell phone. So it is possible that he didn't have one.
Okay, well, the maintenance guy did.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'll accept that. But still, we have a timeline dispute. We still have 70 minutes that we have to account for, and the phony stories. The one story where the guy said we're coming out of the elevator as Campos was going in, and this is nonsense. We had to blow the door, which doesn't make any sense either. It just stinks. It really stinks.
Well, someone sent me. What I've been looking for is a full recording of all shots fired. And what I kept missing was, okay, where's the gunshot? Where's the single gunshot where he suicided himself? That's what I've been looking for. Someone finally found a YouTube video. It's uninterrupted. It's from the beginning to the end. And after all of the automatic or the bump stock fire, you hear this.
Police right behind us with rifles, and they asked us to take cover.
And that, I think, sounds very distinctly like a pretty heavy caliber handgun.
Yeah, it does.
Here's the problem. The tape continues.
And so we ran.
There's glass falling from Mandalay Bay.
And so we ran over. This is basically probably not it's probably not the safest.
Uh-oh. 2 to the head. So explain that to me. 2 shots.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm no weapons expert, but I think it sounds distinctly different than the rifles used. What I also have is, and I've cut this together, I have a recording of the Vegas Metro police while this is going on. We heard many reports. This tape doesn't really corroborate it, but at least you can hear what's going on, of simultaneous shootings in the Bellagio, Caesars, the Aria, and the Paris Hotel. And here's some of that coming through on the police scanner.
Need medical for one GSW victim inside the lobby area.
Hold on a second. GSW victim is gunshot wound.
Need medical for one GSW victim inside the lobby area. 749, I need medical for that caliber to come up to the North Valet.
6-3, do we have an update on the potential device at Luxor?
Also, we have it locked down. We have everybody evacuated and cleared out.
Now we're getting shots. Reported 19, if you can read my place. Units be advised, now we're getting shots fired at Caesars and the Bellagio.
Can we get confirmation as soon as possible from these additional hotels that are reporting shots fired?
We're making the phone calls now.
Just because we have multiple firearms up here, there's from where they were shooting out from, and we just have one suspect down at this point in time.
Do we have any updates on either Bellagio or Caesars? Do we have strike teams en route there?
Hi, Victor. We got reports of a guy with a gun here.
705 Victor, what's your location?
We're at the Paris.
Copy, is a male with a 413 at the Paris. Somebody with a 413 at Paris.
Is that reported or confirmed?
Got people running, and we got security points trying to point out where this gunman is, and we can't find him.
There you go. So definitely a lot going on that could at least be, I don't know, someone could do some reporting. I'm glad you thought that was funny.
That's good. It's funny. You funny guy.
Yeah, me funny.
So, well, I mean, maybe it was a terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's taking credit.
How about this? Maybe the Campo guy was the shooter. I mean, it could be a million different things, but for sure,
we don't know.
The public is losing.
They're doing a crappy job of telling us anything, and the police suck.
Yeah, and the public has lost confidence, I believe, at this point.
And there's the rumor that the ISIS is the one that started all these miscellaneous fires that took place one after the other up in the Northern California too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it came up in the conversation.
They didn't claim it locally. Did they claim it?
No, they didn't claim that, and they didn't claim Vegas, so they didn't do it. Seems to me.
Yo, that's it. You got nothing else?
I'm sorry. Just irked by the commentary you just had there. So let's go with another. This is a different one. This is a little different. This is the Vegas shootings. This is Ross discussing it on ABC. This is a shortened version.
We turn next here to dramatic new details from the massacre in Las Vegas, an audio recording of a hotel maintenance worker calling for help after arriving on the 32nd floor of that hotel where a security guard had been shot through that hotel door. You can hear the gunfire during that call for help. And here's ABC's chief investigative correspondent, Brian Ross, tonight.
The audio recording sheds new light tonight on the moments after Stephen Paddock opened fire down this hallway on a hotel security guard.
Call the police. Someone's firing a gun up here. Someone's firing a rifle on the 32nd floor down the hallway. Copy. Hey, it's on 32.
The man calling for help, a maintenance worker who found himself in that hallway too and radioed to hotel security.
Security wants to know if you know a room. It's at the end of the hallway. I can't tell you what room. He looked like he fired down the hallway when I got close to the door.
The maintenance worker, Stephen Schuck, says he wanted to make sure that help was on its way.
Remain calm and, call it over the radio so we can get police on their way as soon as possible.
According to the revised police timeline, it was about 6 minutes later the shooter began to fire on the concert crowd. And tonight, a person who has reviewed the records tells ABC News hotel security did not call the police until after the rampage was already underway. Police say officers did not reach the 32nd floor until after the shooting had stopped.
And Brian Ross back with us tonight. Brian, for people at home watching this, it's been confusing even for us. The timeline has changed from day to day.
Right.
Initially, they had said the security guard got there after the massacre, might have stopped the massacre. Then there was word from authorities that he got there before the massacre even began. And now MGM, the owner of the hotel group, saying that they don't necessarily buy this new timeline either.
That's right, David. In a statement, the hotel says the most recent timeline from police may not be accurate. We know the hotel's now working with authorities to straighten it all out, and police tell us to expect a new version of the timeline on Friday, David.
On Friday. Brian Ross and your team, thanks again tonight.
Okay, I have an adjusted theory.
Okay.
And I feel comfortable discussing it with you since you sent a link to a Paul Craig Roberts article.
Yeah.
With an American,
you'd really like that one.
An American trauma surgeon responds about all the things. It's in the show notes. All the things,
and everyone should read it.
You really should. All the things that this retired surgeon from Florida says he misses in the coverage, and I think at least that is fair. So we don't see CPR being conducted. Given the alleged number of victims, there was no evidence of arterial bleeding, like sprayers. If some of the rounds were fully automatic high-caliber rifle, machine gun-like weapons, some of the victims should have had obvious massive and visible trauma to the head, neck, extremities. No evidence of that. Complete absence of every kind of urgent care. Then he brings up the lack of appropriate video at emergency rooms. Where are the death certificates? There's just a number of things. How about this? Whoever, whatever. Something is supposed to happen in this hotel room. Sounds like an arms deal. For whatever reason, something goes wrong, and someone freaks out and starts shooting down the hallway. But then, and this is something that someone pointed out, in audio you can hear that there were helicopters. Maybe he's shooting at helicopters or whatever he can. And a number of people get hit. It's clear that there are people who died, and I have not heard 59 stories, but definitely there were people who got hit. And maybe it was inadvertent. Maybe it was not. This has always been the assumption. We really don't know. Even with 20,000 people, 59 seems a little low if you're really there to cause mayhem with automatic fire. Maybe a lot of them miss. There's stuff that was hitting the airport fuel tanks. So maybe there was some embellishment in the number, and we know that the number of people who were trampled versus hit by gunfire is significant.
And trampling's a problem when you have people
yeah. And a lot of people were severely hurt. But the actual shrapnel victims were much lower than the trampling. Like, was it 80? One of our producers said there were 80 people who ultimately had that was surgeries And then of that, a small number was, shrapnel or other things or gunfire. So how about that as maybe an idea?
What were they shooting at? Who were these bad actors? Do you have any thoughts?
No. I mean, it's just deal gone bad for whatever reason. Cop shows up.
Keep on this deal thing, but here's something you might want to consider too, which is that how come the mainstream media is not even thinking that this guy was? I mean, this is a very strange character. I mean, Steve Wynn had him down as this kind of milquetoast guy. Which is a fine front for being an arms dealer. If you're going to be an arms dealer, you don't want to have a high profile. You want to be smoking big cigars and showing off with a bunch of hookers.
No.
You want to be, low key. It's what he was. And I have not heard anybody except a couple of radio guys and maybe Scott Adams and us and a few others say that this guy could have been an arms dealer.
Yeah.
We got the 33 message some time ago, but something's fishy about that.
Yeah.
And
33 weapons, yeah.
Yeah, 33 weapons, which means he probably had more.
Even though they could have easily said 47 total, they had to keep pointing the 33 out.
Yes, but nobody wants to bring up anything other than he somehow snapped.
Yeah.
And did it for reasons that nobody knows. I don't see why they keep staying on this track. It doesn't make any sense to me. By now, you'd think half the reporters would be going off in different directions, doing some background checks, trying to find out some, other things.
Well, John, if we can't even get the press to talk about Harvey Weinstein, then why are we surprised?
30 years.
Why are we surprised that there may be elements who talk to the editors of publications saying, yeah, maybe not a good idea to do that, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. Well, something's fishy about this story, that's for sure.
And what's great about it is that we can do that. And we can we can do it for one reason and one reason only. It's because we do not live and die by the sword that is God, as the advertiser is God. Screw that particular God.
John,
sorry.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. No Agenda in the morning.
Accepting the award for crappiest transition ever, Mr. Adam Curry.
Bad segue.
Bad. Sorry.
Okay. And hold on a second. Zero. We want to thank a few people for helping us out on show 972. Sir Jawa 12345. He says, Sir Jawa here, I've got nothing to say except I can't believe in the anti-Trump crowd. Oh, and he's got a song that he sent us that we can maybe figure out how to use somehow. Hold on. I just dropped the mouse on the floor.
I thought it was a trackpad, a trackball.
A trackball? Sir Dave, Barony of Kansas City, $110.10. Happy 10-10 day. Stephen Knopf, $101.
You wished everybody a happy 10-10 day. That was nice when it came in. I heard a lot of people said, I thought someone had hacked the email server, hacked the list, and was just sending stuff out.
Why would they say that? That was a normal thing. Came from MailChimp.
I'm just telling you, that was the impression. It wasn't filled with your regular, beautiful pictures.
Oh, it was a note.
I understand. I'm just giving you some feedback.
I do some notes. One time I did it, we've done this a number of times. I send something out and it seems as though it's not getting through because of filters or something. And I'll send a text-only note to people that's telling them to look around for their email box. This was kind of like that. No, I just thought it was 10-10 day, and I wanted to send a quick note. I didn't want to do a production.
That was great. I was happy with it. It actually, I was sitting there at KB, and I'm like, oh, happy 10-10 day, John.
Yeah, 10-10.
10-10.
And,
you have to remember, we give you the world.
10-10 is important to the show because in 2010, 10-10 day fell on a show day.
Oh.
And it was 10. In fact, the link I had in
10-10-10, yes.
10-10-10. I linked to that old newsletter if people wanted to see something funky.
Yeah.
Click on that link and then look at the old newsletter from 10-10 day in 2010, and you'll see that it's a little rough.
Hey, you want to hear something really cool? A numerology thing?
Yeah.
This is one of the best I've ever heard. The Vegas shooting was at a concert. Do you know the name of the festival?
It was Harvest Days or something.
Route 91.
Oh, right. Route 91.
The shooting was on 10/11. Put all those numbers together. What do you get?
666.
Exactly. 9/11/01. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Curiously, you can do that with just about anything.
Shh.
Stephen Knath, $101.05. Happy 1010. Sir Ronald Gardner of the Insane Diego. Get it? Yep. In San Diego, 10101. Sir Warbacon. Warbacon.
Warbacon.
I think it's Warbacon. $101 even for the 1010 day. Nathan Gregg got a lot of attention for that little note. Nathan Craddock in Burbank, California, $100. Stephen Bottoms. Actually, Stephen G. Bottoms, $100. Anonymous, $100 out of New York City. Stephen or Stephen Butt-K. I don't know. Helena, Montana, 90. Dude named Muhammad Ali.
Hey, dude.
808.
Oh, he's a 1010 baby.
He's a 1010 baby. Do you have him on the birthday list? I hope so.
I sure do.
He says, nothing like donating a boob on your birthday. Yay. Kevin McLaughlin in Locust, North Carolina, 7932. He's got a protectorate coming up. He's going to be knighted. Sir Dave O in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 77.
No, he's not going to be knighted. He's going to become a baron, I think.
Oh, is he baron?
Yeah, baron. Oh. Yeah, baron.
Oh. Sir Dave O in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 7770. Sir Green of Hams, Brian Green of Hams in New York City, KC9YJM7373, $73.73. Tim Griffin in Burlington, Wisconsin. I do have a note. It's not a note to read. It's just a very interesting note because he hand typed it with an old typewriter on onion skin with a carbon copy.
Onion skin?
Yeah, onion skin.
It's actual onion skin?
No, it was a paper style. It's funny you don't know this.
It's something it sounds like something my grandfather would use on his typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a style of paper that had really resembled the skin of an onion.
Oh.
And it was called onion skin, and it was super classy.
Like tracing paper or?
No, it was thicker than tracing paper.
Because my grandfather.
But it had a similar texture. I know what you're saying now.
Yeah.
It had a similar texture of tracing paper, only it was even cooler, and it was thicker, and it was not translucent.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, onion skin.
Learn something new every day.
You do. You keep learning stuff.
I know. It's a great show.
Tim Griffin, that's Burlington, New York. Now, here's a good one. Now, this is someone in Tainan City in Taiwan. Thanks for your hard work. Just had to donate for your ROC call out, which is what that 1010 day is. It refers to the Republic of China's Independence Day, actually.
Oh, okay. That's why the Taiwan producer.
So we have a Taiwan producer who apparently sent in either Chinese characters or I don't know what. There is not one normal character in this list of just this mess.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Pasting that into the chat room again, see if they can deal with it.
I don't think anyone can deal with this, but I want to thank I want to thank our friend in the ROC for doing this. I'm surprised someone from, generally speaking, when I do anything about the ROC, you get some notes from some PRC people, and they always bitch.
I love this. The last letter is a capital A with a circumflex and a little 3 next to it.
Yeah, to the third power.
I'm just going to spell my name if I can figure out how to do those characters everywhere. Triple A. Yeah, nice.
Michael Workman, $60. David Stenberg, $56.56. Jason Howard in Hoxton, Hoxkessin, Delaware, $55.55. Ryan Brady in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. William Phillips, double nickels on the dime. So is Ryan Brady's double nickels on the dime. And we got, Mitch and Elizabeth Schlesinger, or Michael, I'm sorry, and Elizabeth Schlesinger in Macomb, Maryland, double nickels on the dime. It came in as a check.
No, that's not Maryland. Michigan.
What did I say?
You said Maryland.
Oh, Michigan. Pedro Gonzalez Arellano, 55, in Barcelona.
No, Barcelona. He's donating. He's donating before the Catalan government turns his euros into pesetas.
Yeah.
All right.
Stephen Wolf in Kirkland, Washington, 54. He's wondering about how this thing got through the Bank of America. Christopher Dolan in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that's 5150. And the following people are $50 donors, name and location if available. Brett Yo in Cantonville, Maryland. Richard Gardner.
Sir
Richard Gardner. We should know where he is.
I thought he was in Virginia.
Might be. Jonathan Ferris in Liberal, Kansas. A very liberal Kansas. I can't be that way. I'm a liberal. Or you call liberarians. Jeffrey Chadwick in Ogden, Utah. David Pete in Aubrey, Texas. Drew Mochek, a lot of 50s today. In El Cerrito, California.
Also, a lot of people said that they specifically were donating because they did like our Vegas analysis. That's nice to see.
Good.
Yeah, we were
Mark
worried.
Little with T's, not D's, in La Jolla, California. Robert DeCaney in Fairfax, Virginia. Andrew Dawson, parts unknown.
He has a birthday.
Sir Eric VM, he's got a birthday. Baronet of the Valley, Van Nuys, California. He's our last, but not least, donor for show 972. And we have a bunch of under 50s, too, that we want to thank for helping us keep the show going.
A lot of people, yes. I see a lot of 42s today, which I like. 42 is obviously...
That came from the original newsletter from 10-10-10.
It's great.
Because back in the day, I said in that newsletter, the connection was very poor. I said, well, 10-10-10, you can donate $1,000 and whatever, 10 that comes to 10-10-10. Or 42. It's the answer to everything.
It is the answer to all questions in the universe.
So a bunch of people read that newsletter and said, hey, 42, that brings back memories.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's highly appreciated. Another show coming up on Sunday.
Dvorak.org/NA.
And we have a couple of F cancer requests, so I'm going to put that in here.
You've got karma.
Here's your list for today. The 10-10 babies, Stephen Kunoff, and our dude named Muhammad Ali both celebrated on the 10th of the 10th. Andrew Dawson celebrates today. We say happy birthday to him. And so does Christopher Cohen, but he'll be on the 14th. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe. One title change today. Sir Kevin McLaughlin ponies up once again. 3 times now he has donated $1,000 to the No Agenda Show, the best podcast in the universe, and becomes Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Baron of Cabarrus County, North Carolina. That will be his protectorate, and that will be reflected at itm.m/peerage or dvorak.org/peerage.htm, all uppercase. Thank you very much. And we do have 2 nightings today, so I have my blade here. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Here it is. It's got coffee all over it.
That's better. We need Jeffrey Steckroth to step up. And Chris Cohen. Gentlemen, please join us here at the No Agenda Roundtable of all of the knights and dames who are welcoming you into their midst for your support of the No Agenda Show. And I hereby proudly pronounceate thee, Sir Perfluous the Octoroon, and Sir Chris Cohen, both knights of the No Agenda Roundtable. Gentlemen, for you, we've got the requisite hookers and blow, Rent Boys and Chardonnay, Macallan and Dim Sum, ketamine and kombucha, tofu and turmeric, pipelines and poppies, runny eggs and grapefruit juice. We've got wenches and beer, Rubenesque women and rosé, geishas and sake, vodka and vanilla, bong hits and bourbon, spiked ring, sour and escorts, ginger ale and gerbils, and the ever effervescent mutton and mead. And all you need to do now is go over to noagendanation.com/rings, fill out your deeds, and Eric the Shill will get off your ring and your sealing wax and everything to you. And please tweet out a picture. And thank you for supporting the show so that we can do analysis without being penalized and being taken off the air.
By the man.
Oh, yes. It's a shitty read, but At least it's a little short clip with a news story.
ESPN suspended pundit Jemele Hill for 2 weeks Monday after she suggested fans should boycott the sponsors of the Dallas Cowboys. The sports network released the following statement. Jemele Hill has been suspended for 2 weeks for a second violation of our social media guidelines. She previously acknowledged letting her colleagues and company down with an impulsive tweet. In the aftermath, all employees were reminded of how individual tweets may reflect negatively on ESPN and that such actions would have consequences. Hence this decision. Hill tweeted that fans should boycott the sponsors of the Cowboys after owner Jerry Jones said players who disrespect the national anthem would be benched.
This is the mind of this is a true moron who thinks it's a good idea working at an institution that lives off of advertising, many of them the same advertisers as the NFL and their associated teams. To say something like that is blasphemous.
I'm stunned. I didn't know she was that naive. I think she's
blind. She must be.
Well, she's black and everyone's made a fuss. They're defending her, and there's this racist thing going on, and so they have to worry about that. But they're going to slip her out of there. They're going to cancel the show.
Yep.
Going to hurt her partner probably more than anyone because I think that show's going to be through. It's not doing that well. It's kind of a show they just
you're supposed to say her failing show.
Your failing show. But that's what they're going to start using, that term, so they can, very slowly move her out, and then she's going to be done. She's going to be at Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Which is, a wannabe. And that'll be that.
And
I saw that story too. I thought it was pretty funny.
And it was interesting to see one of the most politically correct companies in the world, or brands, I should say. It's a Procter & Gamble. No, it's a Unilever, I believe. Dove is Unilever.
Yeah.
And
this was a very screwball story. I didn't know anything about it. Mimi showed it to me.
The ad?
And I said, what is the big deal? I mean, it's just stupid. It's a dumb commercial. I thought it was not even a real commercial.
Now, what was your take on it? Just tell us what happened and what you saw in the commercial.
A bunch of girls are taking off their tops.
Woo! Sorry.
And these use the goat for that.
I'm sorry. What am I thinking?
I'll start over. A bunch of girls are taking off their tops. And underneath is another girl because she uses Dove or something. It had something to do with soap. I'm not sure what. And I think it's a French commercial. And so one of the girls, I believe, is black, and she takes off her top and she's white.
Uh-oh.
So now this is the most racist thing ever. And
yes, because you literally wash off the black with the soap.
The black is gone.
What a great thing for this to happen to a company like Dove. This is just fantastic. I mean, it's really groovy, man.
Well, it's a foreign commercial. I think it's French.
No, they should immediately say that, sorry, the French are racist. This one slipped by us.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
The racist French?
Yeah. They also show tits.
Yes, we think, well, they're not in the commercial, sadly.
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah. Well, while we're on the social justice warrior tip, this one blew me away. Tinder has a new campaign. It's a campaign, they're promoting it. And what they are promoting is the Menprovement Initiative. Menprovement Initiative. Brought to you. Yes, Menprovement. Brought to you by the women of Tinder. And I'm going to play this promo for you, and I'll just give you some visuals. Very good-looking women, clearly at the Tinder offices, and they are talking about the number of men who have very high douchebag factor, and they have little things up on the board and percentages, and they are now, with this Menprovement Initiative, are going to, at least, I don't know, they're not going to rid their service, a hookup dating service, rid them of douchebags, but we're really going to be protecting you against the douchebags on our hookup dating service. And as a part of this, the women then bring in the douchebag killer, who we never really see, But you see her come in through the elevator. You see stiletto heel pumps and everything. And so you kind of have the scene set.
So where are we with this douchebag situation?
The thing about douchebags is that they tend to cluster.
It's true. Our algorithm is showing hard clustering. In some demos, they travel in packs. We've got a solution. Bring me someone with real douchebag experience, and I'll show you how it works.
Who can we call? I've got this.
Okay. Now we see the elevator doors open. There's the stiletto heel.
Go right in. They're expecting you.
No, don't worry about it. This is for you.
And now she's in the boardroom with all the other ladies. And we sit down and...
Hey, welcome to Tinder.
Douchebag expert at your service.
That's right. Tinder, getting rid of the douchebags just for you.
Hold on a second. Couple of things. One, by the way, would they get these actors from porno movies? I mean, this is what it sounds like. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, did they bring... Here's the way I was envisioning it, because I didn't see this piece of crap. But the way I was envisioning it, there was like, you saw the elevator open and you saw stilettos and some hose maybe. And that's all you saw. There was the legs walking in. And then they sat her down and she sits down. And everybody else, they scan around and show everybody else. And then they bring the camera up and you finally get to see what this woman looks like. And it's Hillary Clinton.
No, there was no
Cheryl Sanders. Or it's somebody.
It should have been some. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't see anyone spectacularly interesting. I don't think they even showed her.
Some chick.
Yeah, they just showed her, but that not from the front.
She's the douchebag expert.
Yes. Yeah.
Stinks, this commercial.
And but what is going on? I mean, I was on Tinder briefly and went on one Tinder date. Dumb.
And by the way, there's as many douchebag women as there are douchebag men. Let's get that straight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But here's the kicker. When you watch this commercial, and in the beginning where they're talking about, douchebag, and they have all this stuff written up on the board, and they have, the number one, so it's all percentages. 42% doesn't want to introduce you to his friends. And then second place, 27%, he's a day trader. I mean,
what? Yeah. You're kidding me.
No, I was looking for podcaster, but it wasn't on the list.
So a day trader by nature, by definition,
is a douchebag. 27% douchebag factor. Yeah, hello.
Wow.
Oops.
No. Bigoted.
That's the one I was trying to hit.
Very bigoted.
Yes, it's bigoted, but funny.
I don't know what they're trying to prove. And by the way, when it comes to douchebags, if there was no demand, there'd be no supply.
Thank you very much.
Just get that out of the way.
There's an idea for a Weinstein. You can just make a douchebag dating app. Now waterproof. Works in the shower.
That would be an overnight success.
Works in the shower.
Works in the shower.
Also groovy for your plants.
Yuck.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so I got a couple leftovers. I do have the Donna Karen speech, which caused a ruckus.
Yeah, I didn't read it. What was the background?
Donna Karen.
She said they were asking for it. Was that it?
Yeah, they're asking for it. She's like something's wrong with her. She smiles after every sentence with that big grin. People that hi, you smile, and then you say something. Hi, smile.
Hold on one second. I'm still at the Harvey Weinstein douchebag dating app. I think you should be able to go in and sort by category: day trader, podcaster. I mean, it would be fantastic.
You just want podcasters to get dates.
Yes. Podcasters, they don't make any money. They might as well get laid.
They won't. That's the key to unsuccess.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll stop. My cheeks hurt.
She's got this. She's weird when she speaks, and she's also kind of made up oddly. And she's just, I don't know where they caught her somewhere, and she's commenting on to Weinstein, thinking, "Hey, as far as I can tell, what she said was, I can see her, somebody saying this. She doesn't even really design anymore. I don't even know if she still owns her own company, but they're jumping all over her for being a douchebag.
Yeah.
For saying all these things. Man, I just thought it was pretty funny, even though I She probably is kind of douchey for saying this stuff, but it's definitely worth listening to.
I think we have to look at ourselves. Obviously, the treatment of women all over the world is something that has always had to be identified. Certainly in the country of Haiti, where I work, in Africa, in the developing world, it's been a hard time for women. To see it here in our own country is very difficult. But I also think, how do we display ourselves? How do we present ourselves as women? What are we asking? Are we asking for it? By presenting all the sensuality and all the sexuality? And what are we throwing out to our children today? About
that's a huge question.
How to dance and, how to perform and what to wear. How much do they show?
Yes. I mean, that's...
I don't think it's only Harvey Weinstein. I don't think we're only looking at him. I think we're looking at a world much deeper than that.
In a bigger picture in
Yes,
Hollywood.
and I think he's being looked at right now, as a symbol, not necessarily as him. I know his wife. I think they're wonderful people. Harvey's done some amazing things, and, I think we have to look at our world and what we want to say and how we want to say it as well. It's not Harvey Weinstein. You look at everything all over the world today, and how women are dressing and, what they're asking by just presenting themselves the way they do. What are they asking for? Trouble.
Wow. I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad we had an opportunity to listen to it because I've seen so much.
I think she's plastered, personally.
Yeah. Drunk or not drunk. Yeah. Sounds like that kind of situation that she might have been drunk.
Yeah.
She had me up until the thing, it's not Harvey Weinstein. It's like, yes, is this a problem with the media and advertising industries in general? Yes. Sexualization of women? Totally. Absolutely. Sex sells. Has it been distorted, and do younger children, in this case girls, but they're not getting, are they getting bad examples or examples that need explanation and need some context, including Britney Spears? Maybe specifically Britney Spears, schoolgirl, sexy schoolgirl, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So that, she had me there, but whoops.
Well,
she should just say I was drunk. She just get over it.
That's what she should say.
I'm drunk. I was drunk.
And she'll be fine if she does that. She's already walking it back, but she doesn't want to. A lot of people won't say I was drunk. They should. You can kind of tell, you're kind of drunk.
Yeah.
You might as well just admit it and say, I was stupid. I was drunk. I don't know what I was talking about. You'd get a pass.
Yeah.
So I got Seth MacFarlane, a little clip from him at the Oscars in 2013.
Yeah, this was played a lot. I saw this.
And Amy Abt, the master. Congratulations, you 5 ladies no longer have to pretend to be attracted to Harvey Weinstein.
And I love, there's a guy with FU money. But I love that.
He's got plenty of FU money. He's got nothing to do with the Weinstein.
Yeah.
He's a Fox guy.
Yeah, he does not care. And he said it. Very good. Seth MacFarlane, braver than the rest.
Yeah, that was like 3-4 years ago.
And no, I don't think anyone questioned him. Said, "What did you mean by that? What was
I don't think so either.
You'd think maybe they would. Hey, before you do clips, I just wanted to bring something up from the list.
Oh yes, our list. We have a list,
and this is important.
Know about it, but it's got a title.
Yes,
it's called The List.
The List. Yes.
Yeah.
And I maintain the list for obvious reasons. And today from the list, I pulled a topic which is now coming on vogue as we are being affected by the upgrades in browsers happening everywhere.
Oh.
Firefox, Chromium, Chrome, Safari, it's all being upgraded. And in line with the fine initiative HTTPS everywhere, right now when you go, and I host all the show notes as an example on Amazon's S3, just in a bucket, as it's called. And it's very sophisticated how it gets in there, thanks to the Freedom Controller, but it's just in a bucket. And these buckets would then need to be HTTPS compliant, because if you go to our show notes now, pretty much every single site we have, although we did make the switch over to HTTPS for our podcast feed and Yes, for the podcast feed and which broke some older people's phones, and for the MP3s. You will get a very scary warning that says it's not safe. This could be malware. This is not a place you want to go. Click on advanced. Are you sure you want to take the risk? Okay, little scary guy, little, like one of the Donald Duck crooks there, trying to grab your data out of your computer. But yes, you'll still click. And it's my understanding that a friend of yours is going to sue Google over this, and I support this wholly, and I'd like to find out more about it and get in on it.
Mark fairly well-known guy out here.
Who? Mark who?
Mark Perkel.
Perkel, okay.
MarcPerkel. You can support him at Mark, MARC, at Perkel.com. He runs the city seat time, computer time services, email and other things, and it's where I get my squirrel mail service.
Oh, dynamite. The guy's a genius.
And he's been doing this sort of thing since the days of Novell and his network, and he's always had different kinds of products that he's sold. Good guy, a Linux nut, and he's decided to sue him. He's got a whole bunch of websites that he maintains, many of them for free. A lot of social justice warrior stuff. He's kind of a liberal. Mm-hmm. And he used to work for the EFF. In fact, he used to do their computers there. And he is irked about this, and I wish him nothing but luck.
Me too.
Whatever I can do. I told him I'd give him as much publicity as I could, and I would hope some people would get a hold of him and say, what can I do?
Yes. Because it's anti-competitive and it's horse crap.
It's anti-competitive. I think it's illegal. It sounds like racketeering.
Yes, coercion.
At some level.
And it will be affecting your search results. Google has already promised.
Yes.
If you're not HTTPS compliant, down the list you go. So good on him. I support that fully, and I'd like to help out any way I can as well. It would cost us actual money to do. It's cost us money to do this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
You got to get certs. Yeah, you can get free certs. Okay, sure. But, human brain power, migration, crap breaking. We break all kinds of people's stuff.
Things break.
Yeah, things break.
Make these massive, stupid changes for no real reason.
Yeah. I'm glad we got Void Zero and Sir Bemrose and Aaroner and all those guys. We got guys who can take care of it, but no one's looking for the work. These are volunteers.
Yeah. And they don't need the aggravation.
No. And neither do we. It's coercion.
Well, anyway,
racketeering.
I'll give updates. I'll find out what Mark's doing exactly. We'll move ahead.
Good.
So I've got a couple of things left. I have an interesting thing from the Scottish Nationalist Party convention. It's kind of outlines the real complaints of the Scots.
You want to play it?
Yeah, this is a pure backgrounder. This is what the Scots are bitching about, why they want to be independent, because they have this. I think it's a specious argument.
Now, what do you mean? What do you mean they want to be independent? Explain.
Well, this is the Scottish independence. This is the party that wants the Scots to get out of England.
Got it. UK, you mean?
They're the dominant party there, but they haven't been able to make that work. But let's hear what their complaints are.
It does show us what can happen when we don't control our own future. Over the years, there have been many decisions taken at Westminster that I disagree with. But in the course of my lifetime, there have been 3 defining moments when a decision taken there has changed fundamentally our country's path. In all 3, Scotland's interests have been cast aside. In the 1970s, when oil was discovered in the North Sea, Westminster had a decision to make. Set up an oil fund or not. They chose not to. Independent Norway took a different decision. Last month, their oil fund topped $1 trillion. 1 trillion reminders that taking your own decisions is always better than letting others take them for you. After the financial crash, Westminster was faced with another choice: stimulate the economy or impose austerity. They chose austerity. The result has been a £3 billion cut to Scotland's budget, the dismantling of the welfare state, and thousands more children growing up in poverty. It is shameful. And now Westminster is pursuing the hardest possible Brexit, knowing that it will make us all poorer. Just think if those decisions had been taken in Scotland instead. The difference could be dramatic. The security of a multi-billion-pound oil fund, investment, not Tory-imposed austerity, and a country at the very heart of Europe. When we think about those wasted opportunities, it should make us all the more determined that in future we will do things differently. It should make us determined to put Scotland's future in Scotland's hands.
Wow.
Well, this is their big three complaints, and they, among other minor complaints, but it's very specious, because what it says is that we've allowed the central government, which is the British Parliament in this situation, the United Kingdoms, to make these decisions. That here's what they chose. They chose this, this, and this, and we would have done it some other way. You don't know. That's bullcrap. You may have made the exact same decisions. There's no way of knowing. This is all hindsight after the fact. Right. We can look back and say, oh, well, they did it a different way. Look what they did. Well, if we had done that, then we would have, we'd be better off. But you don't know that you'd have done that. And that austerity thing was an extremely popular idea throughout the European economic system. All the economists over there, oh, yeah, you should do it this
Greece.
way.
Yeah.
What other way would you do it if everybody else is doing it this way? You're not going to start.
And conveniently forgets how their bank was bailed out.
Yeah, and the Royal Scottish Bank, which is a corrupt institution anyway, they were the ones that were, well, you Americans are boneheads for all these, the moves you made with these mortgages, not knowing that they were actually the ones holding the bag. Idiots. So with that kind of stupidity, you have to assume they're going to make all kinds of mistakes. And so this is nonsense. But hey,
maybe they're seeking a UKexit.
They are. They've been trying. I mean, they're never going to. I don't know. It's just pathetic. I think it's. I don't think the Scots are that valuable to Britain, but I guess the oil is.
The oil is, yeah.
What are you going to do?
I have a quick three-parter, just quickie clips. This is NPR reporting on the Russian ads on Facebag with the senior editor of Recode. That's good for a laugh.
We'll see.
Because these people truly believe, and they're not wrong, but they believe advertising is very effective. Very effective. So effective that, it's just illegal.
6 months ago, these companies weren't even really aware that any of this had happened. And now they're kind of grappling with the fact that their services were kind of weaponized in this way.
Weaponized.
Just to gin all voters up?
I think the effort was to create a lot of, discontent and a lot of animosity among voters. And I think in some ways probably encourage some people not to vote at all, right? If they continually went online and saw this, rhetoric and saw friends, especially on social media, if they saw friends who had different viewpoints and were getting fired up over that kind of stuff, maybe they would just sit out altogether from the conversation. And so I think more than anything, it was just an effort to really get at Americans who were very passionate about certain issues and kind of stoke that passion in all the wrong ways.
Yeah. Stoke it. And what galls me, where are these guys when the techno experts were being taught in Slavic countries to go and create propaganda on the internet? And the
they
internet
were changing their icon to that color.
Yes, they were too busy changing their icon. You're right. That's what galls me. We are the kings of this. This is what we do. The Broadcast Board of Governors. Go look at Voice of America. I mean, it's not objective reporting unless you say, this happens and we do it too. But no.
The real sentence should be, it happens and we're the best.
That's what foam finger number one, baby.
Well, it is illegal for a foreign government to try and influence or sway a U.S. election.
Is that true? I don't think that's true.
He says, I don't know. I keep hearing stuff about it. You have to look at the federal election. You have to talk to the
only thing I know, I've looked at it. I've looked at it multiple times, and all I know is that you cannot take foreign money. You cannot take foreign money. Now, if foreign money wants to come in and do this, I don't think that's illegal. I think that it's patently false.
Well, it is illegal.
I agree with you. I think it is too.
Yeah, but this is the story. Now, they've taken something out of context, and now this is illegal. No.
For a foreign government to try and influence or sway a U.S. election, I think the challenge right now is how much was known at the time. I don't believe there was much known by a lot of these companies. They sell all of these ads with what are called self-serving ad platforms, so people can go in and buy them without ever having to talk to an employee of Facebook, for example.
Right.
And I think the backlash is going to be less about a formal punishment for a crime necessarily, but more about regulation and saying, hey, clearly this is a system without the appropriate oversight. How can we make sure that when people buy political ads on a Facebook or Google in the future, not only is everyone at the company going to be aware of what's being purchased, but how can the government also track and make sure that someone who's not supposed to be buying ads is not buying the ad?
Okay. So they definitely like the regulation angle. And here's the thing that makes it a little complicated for the face bag. If indeed there was collusion with these ads and the Trump campaign, there's a little snag.
Well, these big platforms often provide some kind of, employee support for big political campaigns, and that is what happened with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and other politicians for that matter, right? And it's not a secret that they want these politicians to be using the platform, to be posting regularly. They want their campaign to be spending money. So they send employees to go help out and kind of teach them how to use a Facebook or a Twitter. I think what's ruffling a lot of people's feathers is this idea that, Brad said, hey, we were able to pick people who were Trump supporters and really come out and kind of take advantage of a Facebook versus simply learning about how Facebook works. Facebook, of course, has said that's not the case. But I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that in the background, a lot of these tech companies are actually helping both sides to try and better understand how to use that platform and get their voices more widespread.
And that type of person is known as an embed in the business. The Facebook embed to help with the campaign and help target specifically. So Facebook may be somewhat
part of sales. What's so bad about that?
Nothing. But that's what is problematic. If you want to hold up the narrative of sophisticated targeting, collusion with Russia, they told them what to do. Oh yeah, there was a Facebook employee there the whole time, actually helping them.
Yeah, of course there was. There should be.
Right, but now it's out.
It's like when you go to Boeing, you visit the facility, and you go to roam around enough, you see there's United Airlines has an office in the Boeing headquarters. American Airlines has an office in the Boeing headquarters. The FBI has an office in the Facebook headquarters.
Yes.
It's the way it works. I mean, get out of the house.
Yes. I got one more if you got one more.
Well, I've got a couple.
Okay.
I have a... one I don't need to play, but I do. Okay, I only have one then.
Okay.
Talk myself out of it.
Yes.
I have it, but mine's a little long.
That's all right.
It is a Prime Minister's question time that is the end of one of the back and forth between Corbyn and May, back and forth. And then there's the last back and forth, which is the one where they go after each other and then it's over. And this was, I thought, a pretty good one because it got pretty noisy, and I kept most of the noise in.
Mr. Speaker, sadly, universal credit is only one of a string of failures of this government. Everywhere you look, it's a government in chaos. On the most important issues facing this country, it's a shambles. Brexit negotiations made no progress. Bombardier and other workers facing redundancy. Most working people worse off. Young people pushed into record levels of debt. 1 million elderly people not getting essential care. Our NHS at breaking point. Mr. Speaker, this government is more interested in fighting amongst themselves than in solving these problems. Mr. Speaker, isn't it the case Isn't it the case, Mr. Speaker, that if a Prime Minister can't lead, she should leave?
Tell the right honourable gentleman what the record of this government is. A deficit down by over 2/3. 3 million more people in jobs. 1.8 million more children in good or outstanding schools. More people visiting A&E. More people getting operations than ever before. Record levels of funding into the NHS. Record levels of funding. Record levels of funding in the NHS. Record levels of funding into our schools. But what did we see about the Labour Party? What did we see about the Labour Party from their conference? Well, what we saw...
It's pandemonium!
Wait for it.
Whoa! Hold on a second. What happened there? What happened?
That's the speaker screaming at the top of his lungs to get over all this raucous action going on.
And we get C-SPAN. Holy moly!
Very overexcited. The response will be heard. The Prime Minister.
What did we hear from Labour's conference? From Labour's conference... Don't want to... What happened at Labour's conference? First of all, Shelter said that the Labour Party's housing policy would end up harming people on low incomes. Labour's flagship Haringey Council rejected another of their housing policies. The Equalities and Human Rights Commission said Labour needs to establish that it is not a racist party. Council threatened to ban Labour conferences because of freely expressed anti-Semitism. And that was all before the Shadow Chancellor admitted a Labour government would bring a run on the pound and ordinary working people would pay the price.
Man, that's great.
It's pretty funny.
I don't know if it's just I'm just entertained by it, but I love it. That's fantastic.
They were going at it, this one.
I can listen to that anytime. Very nice. All right, John, show day. So something could be happening somewhere in the universe, in the alternate universes everywhere. We'll keep our eye on that for you. Everybody else do the same, please. And remember, we will return on Sunday with another episode of the No Agenda Show, best podcast in the universe. And you can remember us at dvorak.org/NA.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Almost 10 years.
Almost, but not
October
quite. We're
26th.
getting there. It's going to be shortly.
Yes, coming up October 26th.
Pre-celebrate, everybody.
Coming to you from downtown Austin, Texas, in the common law condo. 5x9 in the Cludio. FEMA Region number 6 on the government maps if you're looking for it in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where there's ash in the air and a song in my heart, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Sunday right here on No Agenda. Until then, as always, adios, mofos.
Donate to No Agenda. They give us shows week after week. Donate to No Agenda. It's a show that's really unique. Donate to No Agenda. Listen to John and Adam speak. Donate to No Agenda. Science is turning into a clique.
Something suspicious on my street. Suspicious on my street. There's like a pot that's taped shut and has wires coming out of it. Suspicious. suspicious on my street. Well, I saw something suspicious on my street. It's 1315
911, it's emergency. How long ago the explosion was there?
No, there was no explosion.
Elon! Betting against Elon Musk is betting against the future of humanity. Yum, 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 yum. Elon. Yum, 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 yum.
Oh, Elon!
Elon is a complete perfectionist, and then he always over-delivers. An achievement unlike anything in the history of technology. It literally is up there with the iPhone.
I'm no fan of Elon Musk, generally speaking.
Elon!
Elon, you're wrong, Elon!
Oh, Elon!
Jake Howe's pretty connected. I'll speak about myself in the third person.
Oh, Elon!
Elon.
Oh, Elon!
Elon, you're wrong, Elon!
Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum.
All right.
Right.
All right.
Right. The CBC, our friends up there from the Dollarettes, and they brought in their tech millennial to explain how this happened with these Facebook ads. And you can only imagine he's going to explain the algos to us. But he also uses the word right a lot.
Right.
Right?
So we had Google, right? Facebook has a feeture called Safety Check, right? People go to Safety Check. They show news stories, right? News stories that are supposed to...
Well, I like this guy.
They're not doing it right.
Right.
Right?
Algorithms, basically complex systems of code, right? That helps...
Right. What's an algorithm? Answer. Basically complex systems of code, right?
Right.
Right. Is right?
Right.
All of the different sources of news and information across the internet and figure out kind of what to surface, right? The reason they use these algorithms, right, is because there's just so much on the internet, right, that they say...
it in the middle of a sentence. It's not even a proper use of right, because it's not asking for an affirmation. He's just throwing it in. He's just throwing right in.
The reason they use these algorithms, right, is there's just so much on the internet, right?
The guy uses right 3 times within one sentence.
Oftentimes they can be wrong, right?
They can be wrong, right?
Right, the freshness of the source.
Jeez, this guy's full of crap.
Point, right? There's just so much there that you would need thousands,
you can
if not more.
stop. I can't take it anymore.
The best podcast in the universe.
Adios, mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA